Ja. Markeert eller? Geen kop.
Hoe veilig zijn de pionieren?
Hold me close till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. Finding life along the way, melodies we haven't played. No, I don't want no rest. Echoing around these walls, fighting to create a song. I don't wanna miss a beat. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. And we'll grow in number, fueled by them to see the horizon, turn us to thousands. And we'll grow in number, fueled by them to see the horizon, turn us to thousands. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go.
This morning I'm sharing the stage with guinea fowl, and quite a few of them, as you can see. Yeah, they're sharing the stage with guinea fowl and barking dogs in a residential area here in Somerset West.
I'm saying bye to all the lies and all the times you cried, saying that I wasn't right, yet I was right by your side. You manipulator, playing games, your friends commentators, and I don't know what you say about our private conversations, but it's got them hating. Thanks to all the rumors you be claiming, it's cool, I'm done with you, so they can throw you a celebration. You gon' hate it when you see me with somebody living better. I'm trying to tell you that me just doing me gon' have you jealous.
Well, good evening. And good morning to my fellow Neanderthals and canines the world over. Welcome back, person. Boy, check out my purple tulips. They're really coming out there. Just 2 days, already opening up. Welcome back, folks. It's Chris live in central Pennsylvania for your daily dose, your daily injection. No, not the spicy cough. for genuine news and objectivity. Well, I got to tell you, folks, it's been an interesting afternoon. I went down to the courthouse not courthouse, but the Board of Elections this afternoon to file my candidacy once again because someone went to the trouble to get the petition and get signatures to get me back on the ballot to return as a judge of elections. I wasn't going to do it, but I've been called once again to public duty, so up for that. Okay, let me just make sure the sound is going out here. Up for that. Yeah, it's working. Okay, cool beans. All right. Right, so welcome back to everybody, my fellow Neanderthals, and successful hominid species did do very well in Europe and Middle East and the Caucasus. We lasted, 400,000 years, our ancestors. Thank you for being here. Let's see. We got some people popped in earlier. Ornamental Hermit, Charmaine, Venezia, Hendo, Dylan, Sean, Louise Rayner, Andre Nell, Robert Franklin Moore, Alfonso Ferreira, Thomas Holmes, Magda Leboff, Skulk Badenhorst de Barum, Chris Stender, Chana, Michelle Heath, Arctic, Salem's Cave, Skulk Badenhorst, Willem Jans van Lensburg, S.A. Pete, hello to you. If you look at all the new housing developments just in Houston, there's plenty of room for all. Yeah, look at the ones in Maryland, just drove past the other day. They're all over the place. Too many damn people here. Karen Jones, Magnus Potgieter, Heidi Kruger, Yolanda, James Deval, Peter Smith, A.J. Quinn. I think I read all these names this afternoon, and some people get turned off. They just left because we were chatting. They're expecting news, but we still had like 800 some people hung around for the news today. It's pretty cool. We had 997 viewers earlier today. It was pretty exciting. Today is there load shedding going on? What's going on? Did I become unpopular all of a sudden? 137 people here tonight. Hey, we don't give torch in the mouth. 137 was a big audience not all that long ago. Terrence Leeper, Amazing Yacht Destinations, Brian Lawrenson, Chris Mate, Dan Hook, Dragon Lord Customs, Francois Swart, Rayan Naudia, and Raina Fletch, Willem Skeppers, Larissa Slaughter, Susan Koster. And somebody just got ahead of me there, jumped. Jules, Cole, for short for Colonel, I guess. Sonia, welcome to you. Okay, I need to get a little something to drink here, folks. No, it's not alcohol. Once again, this is just root beer, for those who are wondering. IBC root beer, something different. Chris Marie, welcome to you. Got to be careful root beer. It's so much carbonation just shoots right back out of there. Jean Spice, Bosch Zebra's back. Hester Frion, Christo, Morny Delport, Jacob Lignot, Peter Talliard. Really early this side, Chris. People are only waking up. I know, Morny. It's. Look, I mean, I've got to make a decision here. I can't keep burning the candle at every end. So if we have something that could break some news and we need to stick on for it, we'll do it. But because we jumped ahead an hour for spring forward with daylight savings time, it is now 11:30. And it's only 5:30 for you guys. At 11 o'clock, it would have been 6 o'clock before. But now it's just now what? Just now 5:30. So if I wait till midnight for your 6 o'clock, then I'm on till 2 and go to bed at 3 or 4. And I have to get up a couple hours later. And I got to get some sleep. So I've adjusted this. We'll see how it goes. It went pretty well last night. So we'll see how it goes tonight. Jacques Madeleine Fundezant. Dude, that is a name. Troiko Hawkeye, Raina Fetch. Juanita Stender. Okay, guys. And Martin. Sorry, Martin. I missed you at Bondi Beach there. In Sydney. Sydney, Australia. Hey. Man, oh man. All right, so very interesting developments here. I've just got to make sure this is published here. So let me just take a look here and see what's going on here. Checking. What are you checking? How long you got to check this thing? I published one video, and I'm trying to get another one up here, but I'm going to set it for a little bit later start. Okay, there we go. Okay. Public. I want to set this as a scheduled time. So I'll make it on the 11th at 1 o'clock. Let's go 1 o'clock, okay? All right. There you go. Set as a premiere. Okay. Cool. All right, so let's see what happens with that. 1 and 7 is going to be 8 o'clock for people there. So I just got to tell you about the events going on today. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. So, folks, okay, look. You know, those who know me know I'm actually rather humble. I don't have that big opinion myself. I like to joke around quite a bit. But so two things happened yesterday for South Africans. I report on two stories. One of the stories, Business Tech went back and the text of the story appeared to be changed. It said asylum, and then he changed it to refugee in one place, which changed the out. But I had taken a screenshot of it, and I also reported on it and put it in the news. So interesting story there. You don't expect news outlets to change their stories, unless they put, an addendum in it. That's what happens in a newspaper. So that story changed, and that was covering the Canadian immigration consultant who was rubbishing the USA's refugee offer, saying that, well, there's something nefarious behind this. Come to Canada. Of course, if you go to Canada, you have to pay him or someone like him to get into Canada. That's what it's all about. It's not about your best interest. Anyway, so our refugee program, what's this beard? It's not looking right here. Okay. Our refugee program is kostenlos, as we say in German. A little spot there looks ruined. Anyway, so it's kostenlos, doesn't cost you anything. So I reported on that. I made a video, and then that story was altered. Then I did yesterday the story on Newsroom Africa, interviewing a scholar at George Washington University, I think it was in the States, and an African guy. And it was about Naledi Pandor going to America, or already in America, on a diplomatic mission for the government of South Africa to restore relations, which, okay, if I worked at Newsroom Africa, someone told me that, my first reaction would be like, seriously? Naledi Pandor? Couldn't you just send the plague? I mean, why don't you just send, missiles to shoot missiles in America? If you want to piss America off, it's hard to piss them off more than sending Naledi Pandor. She's specifically mentioned by name in a House resolution calling for a reconsideration of the relationship with South Africa because of what she's done. I mean, honestly, folks, let me show you that bill. I mean, the screen capture from that bill. This is from the House of Representatives from the 6th of February last year. This is the bipartisan bill I keep talking about. And I mean, if you're going to piss off the Americans, you couldn't try any harder than sending Naledi Pandor here. This is the last person anybody in Congress wants to see. In the House of Representatives, the 6th of February 2024, Mr. James and Mr. Moskowitz introduced the following bill, referred to as to the Committee on Foreign Affairs. They require a full review of the bilateral relationship between the United States and South Africa. On October 17, 2023, South African Foreign Minister Naledi Pandor accepted a call with Hamas leader Ismail Haniyeh. On October 22nd, she visited Tehran and met with President Raisi of the Islamic Republic, which is actively funding Hamas. And we won't go any further. You get the gist of what's going on there. So sending that story. So that story, if I'd been the editors at Newsroom Africa, I'd be like, whoa, guys, hold on. Okay. Let's not get out in front of our skis. Thank you, Big D's Diesel, for the $10 super chat. Way to get us started there. I would not get in front of my skis. I would say, hey, hold on a second here. Naledi Pandor going to America. Now, if you're going to tell me Naledi Pandor is going to Beijing or to Tehran to smooth over some relations, I'd buy that. But I'm not going to buy anything that she's coming to America to smooth over diplomatic relations. The only reason you'd send Naledi Pandor here is if you wanted a potential diplomatic affront. And they've already done their best to piss America off by sending Ibrahim Russell, a man who's incredibly disrespectful and ill-suited for the job of ambassador to the United States, who hates America and hates Donald Trump. He's the last person you want to send here, but they did that already. So, I mean, I guess you're going to double down. But that story didn't make any sense. So I ran the story, and I correctly said that Newsroom Africa reports, not that I was reporting. And then I analyzed, and I said, this is dumb. Well, within 2 hours, that video was removed. No explanation. Then they posted another video, which they corrected the story. And they got a hold of Ronnie Lamola real quick. Is it true? No, it's not true. That's not true. So they cover their asses. Now, I'm not attacking Newsroom Africa, but it makes you wonder who contacted Newsroom Africa? Who told them to remove that story? So, all right, so that's two stories. That's the BizTech story, and that's disappointing. BizTech has been a very reliable, objective, down-the-middle publication in my experience. It just reports the news. It doesn't play this op-ed game very much. So, and in fact, the story that was there by Libera, the Malcolm Libera, something like that, his name is, was very good. The first portion of the story, objective, fact-based, and he took all sorts of different angles, different people, and made it very informative. But then it went sideways as he allowed this guy to put stuff in there, didn't question him, and then allowed the rest of the story to be all about, how to get to Canada. Canada has jobs in 37 medical fields. Yeah, it's all about Canada immigration and rubbishing America by trying to get people to Canada. Shameful. Anyway, so the Newsroom Africa story, the BizTech story, all yesterday. And then, ladies and gentlemen, I get this from someone in South Africa. They sent this to me because I hadn't seen it yet. Let me find it here. So, hang on, let me see something real quick here. All right. Yeah. So here's a story that appears in the Daily Maverick. Okay. So what I'm going to tell you is that the so-called treason charges against Solidarity and AfriForum, there's nothing to them. Do you know why? Because leftist media in South Africa have said there's nothing to them. If you haven't seen this Daily Maverick story, you should check it out, folks. Check it out. The flat spin. Solidarity's Washington lobbying trip is big on hype, scant on details. So, what do they say about the trip? Well, that's not it. How'd that happen? Hang on a second there. That is not where I meant to go. That did not go to the right place. Don't care about Wady Montasha. I did do that. I went the wrong direction. That's why. Okay. All right. Here we go. So here's inside the story. Okay. So the sole visual evidence on social media of a meeting held by the team, other than a video, posted by the movement's international relations liaison, Jaco Kleinhans, of him being interviewed by a right-wing podcaster in a Starbucks coffee house. A right-wing podcaster. Oh, dear God. Aidez-moi. Aidez-moi. A right-wing podcaster. I love how leftists, anything you say that doesn't conform to their worldview makes you right-wing. So, you know, they've so disavowed traditional liberal values like freedom of assembly, freedom of worship, freedom of speech. No, you must be in prison. You used the K word. Chris, you don't understand. That word has power. Yeah, so does a jail sentence over speech. Yeah. We ostracize people that behave poorly in public. We don't associate with them. Nobody offers them jobs. Nobody talks to them. They get the message and they stop being asses. Yeah, no, traditional liberal values like freedom of speech, freedom of assembly, freedom of worship, the right to seek redress from your government, these are not conservative values. These are liberal values, traditional liberal values, which I adhere to. I believe in firmly. But apparently I'm right wing. Yeah, it's right wing. Let me see if that link even takes me to my video. Let me see if it does that. Hang on a second. And we'll prove to you whether it's true or not. Come on, where's that article at? Rehide now. There it is. Okay. All right. So let's do this here. Okay. Okay. So we're going to go down here and find that link. Okay. And see if it might just take you to their video. I'm not sure where it took them to. Okay. Okay. Where's it at here? Come on. It was there. Wait, don't tell me they changed that again already too. There it is. I got it. Okay, let's see if we can get this to work now. Okay, so I found it. Okay, here's the story. There's a link here. Oh, yeah. I'm the right-wing podcaster. I'm the right-wing podcaster. Give me a break. Okay, back to the point about me being humble. I said that yesterday, or today still. It's still today. I've got 10 minutes left today. I said earlier today in my broadcast, it's obvious that media houses are watching my content in South Africa for whatever reason. Can you deny it? Can you deny it any longer? Notice how Rebecca Davies doesn't say Colonel retired Chris Wyatt. No. Right-wing podcaster. She does give you a link to it, so she's put the receipts there. But that's an intentional effort to slander me. She doesn't bother to go retired military officer, combat veteran, published author, university professor, energy industry analyst, dairy farmer, political scientist, university lecturer, published author. Nah, she didn't say any of that. Just a right-wing podcaster. Oh, dear God. It's too much, folks. Yeah, well, yeah, maybe people will find that video. Guys, I'm not right-wing. I've never been right-wing. I am right of center, okay? Right-wing is a slanderous term, and left-wing is a slanderous term, but they deserve it, so I use it. Oh, my goodness. I usually say leftist. If they're not, I rarely say left-wing. I say leftist, because people are left-center are leftist. I mean, the DA's leftist. They're left of center. All right, so I'm going to ask for a little something here for folks. A lot of people have been writing some less than pleasant things on the comments to the video for my interview with Emma Powell. She was very professional. She came on, and she doesn't give these interviews on YouTube. I don't appreciate people venting at Emma Powell. If you're angry at the DA, don't do it at Emma Powell. I mean, look, I'm not defending her, but it's a bit off-putting, okay? Let's be adults in the room. I'm asking people to be adults. I'm glad I actually did that interview offline. Number one, it came out much better. I didn't have the interferences of things popping up on the screen, and we had a lekker conversation for an hour plus. Look, I disagree with some of the things she said. She pushed back against me once. I pushed back hard the other direction, and I did ask a few hard questions, but there were things left on the table because we just didn't have enough time to cover them. But I would appreciate if people would just not be snotty on the comments. There's no need for that. No need whatsoever. It's not what adults do. All right. And I don't know, unless Ms. Powell has done something to harm you personally, I don't see why anybody would say anything ill, you know. What was discussed off camera, which is is not for attribution and also not for sharing. You know, they're conversations behind the scenes. And so what you see is what goes on the camera. Whenever a journalist interviews somebody, meets with somebody, oftentimes you hear other things. So just, you know, be polite and be respectful. That's all I ask. Thank you so much for that. Okay, so where do we leave off at here? Elephant in the room. Kenny Kinar, welcome to you. Volmrands is here. Helena DePolo. Oh, short for Colleen. Oh, thank you, Col. Okay, Colleen. Got it. Well, St. Patrick's Day is around the corner. Yep. Chuck Norris turned 85. Wow. The Daily Maverick. Leaving for the salt mine, but I'll stream before driving. Okay, Robert. That's another thing. I can catch people before they go to work, too. Some of these folks. Oh, the suitcases packed, says Paul. I don't know, man. Hugh Frank, welcome to you. Big D's Diesel, thank you for your support. You're welcome, Big D. Thank you for the $10 super chat. I appreciate that. I thought maybe it might get a flood going, but it didn't. But thank you. That's enough. Hey, Kyrie McDougall. You know, it's funny because I've had larger audiences on some of my videos of late than MSNBC has their evening news. You know, so, you know, just saying. Now, you can't fix stupid. Vote them out, okay? This is Africa. Love the podcast on Constantine. Yeah, please, Carrie. Okay, so, Carrie, we did that video 2 years ago. And Petsu Film Crew had high hopes for it. He thought it'd go really well. And I think it's brilliantly done. The guy knows how to make videos. It's fantastic. He knew how to catch the right moment. We walked around. I was with Jean Nadia probably, 2.5, 3 hours? Probably 3 hours when you consider we went to the wine tasting place after that. And one of my viewers who's probably here listening knows about that day because I hung out with that viewer, and I'm not going to disclose who that was. No, it's not you. It's not you, Hendo. You were in the UK. But, yeah, so... I hate when people say it, but anyway, that day we spent about 3 hours with him, and from that 3 hours, that 20 minutes of footage was culled. Now, we produced that video 2 years ago, but the not YouTube, there's a super chat coming in right there from Arctic. 40 Rand, thank you. Oh, it's Arctic, I shouldn't ring the bell, it's his super chat. It's Arctic, thank you for the super chat. That video, because of YouTube shadow banning and hiding it, got nothing. I mean, I had like 300 views on that. I begged and begged. When a lot of people started showing up beginning of February, I asked people to watch it. I put the link in, and 100 or so went. So I decided to re-release that video with comments at the beginning of it, and hopefully it'll catch on, because that video should have 250,000 views. You see these videos all the time on travel that aren't nearly as good or professional as that. And I'm complimenting Juan Muller, not myself so much. There's another super chat from Manas Potkeeter. Thank you, Manas, 35 Rand. I'm complimenting him for the great film work, and I really felt bad that wasn't a huge hit. Let's see if we can't take that video way out there, make it do something really impressive, folks. Let's try to get that going, okay? By the way, so the video I just did earlier today has already got 2,000 views, and it's been up for half an hour, and at 5 o'clock in the morning. Hopefully that'll take off here. So, wow. Yeah. Who said we are adults? Well, Arctic, you fly planes, and you make me nervous, buddy. Magnus, thank you for your super chat, your 5th one. Appreciate it. Super sticker, that is. I'm glad it's a bit earlier. Now we can listen on the way to work. There you go, Colette. There you go. Well, I mean, yeah, so maybe this will work out for some folks. I love the podcast in Constantia and encourage others to watch it. Please do. Let me see how that's doing. It's not doing great, but it's already got more views than the other one is from 2 years. It's at 1,300. It's kind of tailed off. So yesterday we're getting 80 an hour. Now we're down to 3 or 4 an hour. So not many people. So I don't know why. I mean, and the thing is, I've got a website analyzer that analyzes for your SEO score, and it said that thumbnail and the title were 97 and 98 on a scale of 100. I mean, all things being equal, that should be something that YouTube promotes and pops, but it ain't happening. Anyway, you finally labeled me a white wing. Yeah. Cody Lombard. You have to edit the song, Yolan. Okay. Good morning, Jan. Counterintelligence agent in the chat. Which one of you guys is it? I told you Chris Wyatt is infamous. Yeah, if you're center, they call you right wing. Evan Terreblanche, welcome to Willem Duplessis. Gratz next speaking thing will be conspiracy theorists. Yeah, that's coming next too. Chris Wyatt said that the Bill of Rights was written by the founding fathers. That's a conspiracy. It's not true. It was written by enslaved people in South Carolina while they were singing in Gullah. That's who really wrote it. The pyramids were built by Africans. They were, but not by Nubians. Oh, Kyrie, I've been called that many, many times. Yeah, I've been slandered and I've been liable many times that. Yeah, no. When you call for apparently, if you think that white people and brown people should be treated the same as black people equally, it makes you a racist, or a supremacist. It's idiotic. Yes, a red card for me, Sean. They don't know what right wing is. Actually stands out in front of them. Exactly. Bite them in the ass. Tomahawk says Francois von Koch and Karen Zoid sum up my emotions about this country. Yeah. No, I know the song. It's the first song I heard from Francois von Koch. I had not really listened to Fuck Off Policier just because the name kind of put me off. And then I listened to that song and I was like, wow, okay, maybe I'll listen to him. Then I actually went to a concert in Pretoria East. It rocked, man. Then I interviewed him in Belleville, and I'm trying to get an interview with him again now. So we'll see if it happens. I talked to his agent. MK party threatens to bring SA to a standstill. Yeah, well, I'm going to start covering that story. I haven't covered. You can see how people hate on the DA. They are cowards being intimidated by threats from ANC. We the people elected them represent our views, not to decide what's best for us. Well, I mean, you could say that about any political party. That's fair. USA supports West Cape. And what's this? Where do you get that from, Johnny? Be good. Thanks, Chris, for the interview with Emma from the DA. Very informative. She undervalued the farm murders and overvalued the strategic value of USA. However, we did agree. Yes, okay, that's 2 points. Thank you, Clive. You're being objective. Clive Malherba, I agree. She overvalued the strategic value of South Africa, USA. It's not important to the USA. I'm sorry. I'll disagree with Joel Pollack. I'll disagree with anyone else who says that it's of great strategic importance to the U.S. It's of minor strategic importance. It only becomes important if the Chinese establish a base there and interdict shipping. That's the only way it becomes a major issue. Other than that, it's not particularly good. Remember, we have our secret military base in Botswana. we can always put our bombers there. God. Anyway, Big D said, I was one of them. Won't happen again. You were one of what? One of what, Big D? Well, you were one of what? I fell behind the chat. Odin Vikings here. Still want to know if she can make breibrötjes. Well, I'm speaking breibrötjes. Let me see if that young lady responded back. She was all enthusiastic, and I wrote back to her, and let me see. She hadn't written back as of, let me see. Nope. She wrote back to me and she said it would be amazing. Definitely interested. Okay. And I wrote back to her and I've not heard from her. What's this? Oh, they're just telling me my subscription to this service I signed up for will renew. Okay. I forgot I got several free days. I thought I already paid for it. Fair enough. Hey, I see that X is back up. 2,547 people voted in my poll. And so I'm going to put this in here if you want to go vote in that poll. Good morning. Good morning, everybody in Europe and Africa and points further east. Good afternoon. Here in the States, good evening. It's almost tomorrow. It is tomorrow. It's midnight. It's the witching hour. Do you know where your children are? Some people don't. That's pretty frightening. But X is back up. It was had to suffer from a denial of service attack, at least today. Big D, what'd you do? Okay, let me see it down here. Chuck... Okay, what else you got here? Julie Edwards, hello to you. Mike says, sorry, I can't watch in the morning heading out for work. That's okay, Mike. Watch it later today. But thanks for popping. If you pop in now, I get a view, which is awesome. CJ and Maggie Funderveld, welcome to you. Janice Lorenz. Wasn't me. I'm not allowed to hang out on wine farms anymore. Yeah, I bet that's true. Right wing. It all makes sense now. Remember that time the Colonel got a book off the top shelf? Well, he also... who also held their arm out with fingers for Hitler. Yeah, I reached on the shelf to get a book. Yes, Arctic is actually in Las Vegas, or not Las Vegas, at what's the damn air base in Vegas? I'm forgetting there's not Nellis. Anyway, yeah, they're based there in Vegas. He's remotely flying his drone. That's what he's doing. He's actually a U.S. Air Force specialist. E4 is flying his drone, attacking the Houthis in Yemen. Anton L. Sloth Puppy. Hey, Sloth Puppy. Good to see you, man. MK Party. Okay. Okay, so that's where I left off. Thanks for all the super chats coming in, folks. Nick says the interview with the vintner was brilliant. I love the history surrounding the vineyard. Yeah, it is. I love that, too. It was a great video. Yeah, I like it. This is lekker. It's baie lekker. I redid that 2.5 years ago. Ask Ike Kamalo. I tried, Jan van Driel. I asked Ike Kamalo, but his email address was invalid, and I haven't had time to go back and contact him again. So if someone's got a contact or you can reach out to him, I would love to interview Ike Kamalo, but the email address he has listed on his YouTube account is dead. It got delivered as undeliverable. So, yep. In fact, I wrote to him and sent it to him. Yeah, he did one with Pofu Walsh. That's why I want to get him on. Jesse Randolph. Could you please see Corney? I've asked Corney Mulder. So let me go back. That's not the right one. Hang on. February 28th, I wrote to him. But I asked him to come on February 23rd after he became leader. Isn't this amazing? I'm writing to him right now, and you guys are all over the world, and I'm sending a message to him. So I've just sent him another message. Well, somebody left the refugee group, so let me go. I can put somebody in there real quick. I got one person requesting, and you're in. So we have one more spot in that refugee group, too, because someone quit. Okay? Someone left over here. 72 requests to join the first one, so... No, that one's full. Okay, well, there you go. All right, cool beans. Yeah, I've had Corney Mulder on several times. I've asked you. Your interview with Emma opened my eyes to how pathetic the DA are in Parliament, says Tom Hawk. The DA know how to be in government. Nancy is rolling them in mealy. Okay. Yous are up early, says Jesse. Huh. Chris Ferris says, thanks for all the great shows. You're welcome. Then she saw our childish comments on the song. Yeah, probably, Arctic. Yeah, you probably scared her away. That's why I said be nice to the young lady. You guys, man, you gotta act like adults, man. I'm going to start turning off the chat. People keep misbehaving. Yeah, no, I won't interview her online because I'm not going to tolerate that, and I'll probably turn off the comments. So, but yeah, if she comes on, yeah. Because she's a young lady. She's a teenager. You shouldn't be doing it to her. Isn't there a secret military base in Irania? Nope. Who wants to go to Irania? It's the middle of frickin' nowhere. Eben Terblanche has some idea who it was I chatted with. Okay, well, keep it to yourself. They just love free things, okay? One of the park entering stage is sleep deprivation, so early show works for me, says Heidi Kruger. Okay, Heidi. Well, my YouTube tab just crashed, and I've got a video premiering in about an hour. That ought to be interesting. So hang on a second here. Get this back up. Yeah, because the YouTube studio is just, and it happens to people watching the show too. I don't know what's going on at YouTube. Maybe it's just another attack that's on their service, kind of like X went through today. Bets Corb, welcome to you. Arctic has no idea where his kids are. Napoleon Dynamite. Like how Amos said, if the U.S. doesn't continue giving some money, so we'll just partner with it. No. No, that's not what I got from that. What I got from that is that she said there's a concern if the U.S. doesn't help, there's malicious actors who will help. That wasn't a threat. That wasn't arrogance. And I think she's probably not correct in that. I don't think they're going to help. They may try to enter the space, but they're not going to do it in a friendly way for South Africa. And I don't know if that was her point, but yeah. Iran has a Space Force base. For streaming. Hitler was a leftist socialist, correct? They call him a fascist. And if you go to Wikipedia, they say fascism is a right-wing political ideology. Nope. Fascism is an ideology across the entire political spectrum, left and right. Sloth Puppy says, hearing different views and opinions helps me grow. Thank you for your various interviews. You're welcome. And that's what I try to do. I tried from the outset to make this an objective, engaging, cogent conversation when we have guests on here, introduce ideas that we don't all necessarily agree with, and hear what people have to say. Gideon Russ in from Japan with 500 yen. Dude, that won't pay for my hotel tonight. No, I'm just kidding. Hello from the future. Just watched the Powell interview. She sounds nice, but doesn't say much. I thought she did very well. There's a couple times when maybe my questions got her down the weeds once or twice, but I thought she did very well. That was unedited, by the way. There was no edit in that. Nothing to make either one of us look any better or any worse, which I don't do. I do. If there's things that are off the record, I'll take them out. But there was nothing in that conversation that was off the record. She answered every question. Yeah, so I mean, you got to give someone credit for that. She doesn't do interviews like that. It's a long form on YouTube. She doesn't do that. She'll just talk to BBC or SABC or something like that normally and answer the questions like 2 minutes, 3 minutes, and she's done. So I give her a lot of credit, and I enjoyed the conversation. I'm not from PA, Sean. I just live here. I have been to a Gettysburg reenactment. Yes. I have also given tours there dozens of times. Oh, you spoke bad of Emma and her business friends. Okay. Well, yeah, thank you, Big D. No, I'm just, look, guys, it's not necessary. I mean, it's... If someone's done you wrong, or if someone's misrepresenting you, and I don't think that Miss Powell is doing that to anybody here. She's serving in Parliament, and I've spoke to her off camera, and look, you can believe me, not disbelieve me. She has, in her view, the best interest of South Africa at heart. Yeah. So, yeah, the two of us probably have some separation in our views when it comes to politics, but adults can agree to disagree, and I don't think we disagree on a whole lot. Yeah. Red trigger button for the drone. All right, China, take care. Go to school. Oh, I did reach out and you like to comment. Oh, Jan, you're talking about Ike Kumalo? Okay, well, tell him that I sent an email to his email address and it's nothing there. Didn't work. It got rejected. Do you think the DADLA should watch it any good or move the needle at all? Well, she liked that phrase, move the needle. I'll give her credit for that. She loved to move the needle. Sometimes we get an earworm. We get something in her head, and I think that was stuck in her head. Yeah, move the needle. Let's see. I think without having been in the room, knowing whom they talked to, I would say that they probably might have staved off a reaction from the Trump administration. I think between them and Solidarity probably stopped something from happening. Just that's my, without having been in the room, having talked to those three, those four people plus her, 5 people that came on a trip. I think it's possible that they may have had a delaying action. You notice that Trump hasn't done anything. I mean, they're attacking Trump every 5 minutes, but he hasn't done anything in South Africa. February 7th, he issued an executive order which cut our aid because they attacked him. He was cutting aid to everybody anyway, but he made it clear to South Africa, your aid is gone because your behavior. And the refugee program offer. Now it is March 11th, 5 weeks later. He has done nothing else aside from this silly Truth Social post that he did. And I say silly because it doesn't mean anything. People are losing their minds or need to get a grip and relax because it doesn't mean jack squat until he actually gives directions or issues an executive order or something like that comes along. But in the meantime, this Truth Social post doesn't mean a whole lot. It's just it's as valuable as you putting something on Twitter, except that you and I aren't the leader of the free world. So that's one big difference there. Okay, Fred, how's it going? Chris Sten is here. Hey, Chris. Seb Lalo, welcome to you. Mr. Jardin, where do I ask to join these groups? Which groups are you talking about? Are you talking about the refugee groups? Well, Mr. Jardin, the refugee groups on WhatsApp, we've limited those. I started one, and they only give you 1,025 people in the group. So we started a second one, and people like start another one. I'm not doing other ones. Telegram is the one that's best to join. Telegram, I can have 220,000 people in the group. Now, the group is limited to admins and me for posting. My admins aren't supposed to be posting videos in there unless it's related to the factual story or me analyzing something with refugee program or something along those lines. But they have been posting my other videos in there. I'm only posting things myself that are specifically related to it. So, yeah. Well, the mods can put it up there. I think that Hendo just put the Telegram group up if you want to go join that. Elderly parents are driving up to a remote Karoo town from Cape Town today. 1,000 people near to R just for a week. Wow, that's wild. Roxy has entered the building. Where's Roxy? I didn't see Roxy come in. Maggie says, I hope you come to Pretoria when we visit. Well, Maggie, one thing is guaranteed. Every trip to South Africa involves a visit to Pretoria. Yep. Teresa, if you can send me his number, sure. Yep, absolutely. Are you on a group so you can send it to me privately? Because you can't put it in here. Don't put his number in here. Please don't do that. Yeah, send it to me or send it to the email address and I'll go looking for it. Seb says, the thought show is supposed to be at 6 a.m. South time. Okay, so Seb, you missed the conversation last night. We are on daylight savings time. So when I started doing this because of this refugee thing and so much pent up questions and demand and people want to hear about it, not to mention we had some really cool audiences. We're averaging over 300, 400, sometimes 500 at this time. And people like the morning. I said I would do this until we start getting some answers, which we haven't gotten yet. But with daylight savings time, that's a real impingement on me. I'm already getting very little sleep because I'm working 15, 18 hours a day between this and my consulting and my other responsibilities today. I had to go file my candidacy for judge of elections again to be on the ballot in May. I had to get down to the courthouse, take the petition down there, the nomination, my financial filing, all that other stuff. So that ate up my afternoon. I had a very pleasant surprise too. I went to the discount warehouse to get some petrol, and I filled up my tank. I'm like, $28. The thing was almost empty. I looked at the receipt. I put my reading glasses on because maybe I'm reading this wrong. 50 cents off. 50 cents. I walked inside. I swear to God, I walked inside. I went to the customer counter for members, and I said, look, I'm not complaining, but I don't want to cheat anybody. I know you guys have thin margins here. Did I underpay? I mean, is there a mistake? It says minus 50 cents a gallon. And he said, oh, we've got a promotion running until the 17th of March. If you spend $150 in store, you get a 50 cent per gallon discount, and it's valid for 7 days. I said, really? I said, yeah. So I had a few more days left because I bought some stuff at Discount Warehouse a few days ago. So I got 50 cents off on petrol. Oh, sweet. I got 12 gallons. Saved me, what, $6, something like that. That was awesome. So, yeah. Anyway, that was pretty cool. Not sure why I started telling that story. But yeah, a trip there always involves going to Pretoria. So, yep. Tomahawk says those that haven't seen the interview need to. Okay, cool. If you want to contact me, okay, got that. Okay. Oh, that's okay. So show. Sorry, that's where I was left off at. So the show is supposed to be at 6 a.m., but that's based a little bit on my convenience too. So thank you for the super chat there, Reno. Trump said without details worries me. I really want this. Feels like political treatment instead of tariffs and sanctions. Yeah, hang in there, Reno. We have to wait and see. It's just a social media post, okay? But the last time he did one, he followed through with an executive order the next day. So anyway, but this time he didn't. It's been 4 days since he did this thing. So midnight is a bit late because we like to run this for 2 hours if possible. So if I go from midnight, 6 a.m. your time, till 8 a.m. your time, 2 a.m., that means I finish up here, I wrap it up, I try to answer some emails and such. By the time I start heading to lie down, it's 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning, and I only get a couple hours sleep. So if I start 11:30 and we go for 2 hours, it's 1:30, I can be done around 2, and I'm less likely to keep pushing through the night. So anyway, so that's why it's going on. So for now, here, this isn't the normal time for this program. This is normally a 6 p.m. every day program, 7 days a week. So, yep. Yeah, okay. So there you go, Seb. I hope that helps. Oma Adams. Hello, first time visiting. I heard tonight about you on Caravan to Midnight. Really? I was on Caravan. What did they say about me on Caravan to Midnight, Oma? There's a super chat from Brad. Hey, was NAFTA a good idea? At the time it was, but it was short-sighted because they didn't consider intellectual property, and they also didn't allow for the fact that they would offshore our production to Mexico and Canada in quite such a dramatic fashion. The architects in NAFTA were a little naive, if not stupid. The concept was good. A free trade region between U.S., Mexico, and Canada is a brilliant idea. It was the biggest trading bloc in the world. And I think it's got a U.S.-Mexico trade agreement's even better. But, we see it's not perfect because the Canadians are charging apparently 250% tariffs on dairy. I was unaware of that until Trump mentioned it. So, yeah, Oma, please tell me what they said to me about me in Caravan to Midnight. I'm curious. Morning, Colonel. Did you hear about Kim Tae-hee, a Korean actress who recently robbed at gunpoint a product worth... She was in South Africa? Wow. What was she wearing? It was worth $250,000. That's crazy. What did Ms. Powell mean? Start with really meaningful race-based economic redress. Did I miss it? That's what she said. I think what she's talking about is they want to eliminate those 100-plus laws. What's happening to X and Tesla is just proving that the linear left is exactly that, and Elon is right to target. Yeah, it's crazy. But look, there's nothing they can do to Elon. I mean, other than take him out. I mean, God forbid. No, Elon has got $50, $60 billion cash and investments in the bank. He'll never be poor unless the world fails. So, they can destroy Tesla. All they're doing is harming the people that have jobs there and harming the people that have cars and won't be able to get them repaired if they destroy it. They're just showing who they are. Will U.S.-Canada relations ever be repaired? Of course it will be. As soon as the leftists are out of power and conservatives pull Veras in office later this year, things will get right back on track. Love Trump. He's trolling around opposing the ANC while ignoring them at the same time. Exactly. Literally doing to them what they do to the South Africans every day. Exactly. Thank you, Charmaine. Spot on. Lukey Brummer, welcome to you. Andre Neethling, you must come visit New Zealand. We'll definitely give you an ice cold Black Label beer. Andre Neethling, I've been to New Zealand and I plan to go back for the Women's World Cup in 2021, but the cowards delayed it 2022, which put it in conflict with my trip to South Africa. That was my initial trip back to South Africa. Plus, they didn't announce, the entry standards until like 2 or 3 weeks before the damn World Cup. And then, to be fair, I bought tickets. I ate the cost of them, so I never went to the game. But they weren't that expensive because it's women's rugby. But I've been the one in Paris, and I've been the one in Ireland, and that would have been the third one in a row for the Women's World Cup. So I will be going to the Women's World Cup in England. But the Women's World Cup, the last time around, it was disgraceful. I had tickets for all the Americans, and I probably would have got up and left the stadium, or I would have booed, because the American women took knees because of their woke, slavish, testicle-licking, fealty to Black Lives Matter, Black supremacy movement, and they took a knee, which was comical because they're playing Japanese who are women of color who are standing and singing their anthem proudly, a country that was a empire that sexualized and imprisoned sexual prisoners, thousands of women made into sex slaves. They murdered people in mass. Their country, not the Japanese today. There's something to be ashamed of, and they are proud of their anthem. They're up there singing it. And we've done no such thing. We've freed the world of communism, of socialism, of fascism. We've developed space travel and medicines and artificial body parts and advanced scientific techniques and the most robust economy in the history of humankind and the most generous society in history. And we get treated like crap. So, anyway. JP Dreckmeyer's here. Charged me $24,000 saying I overrode the meter. What? Is that your electricity? Oh yeah. Oh, Luki, yeah, they're trying to update the value of places and claim it's worth more than it is. If you live in Joburg, your place isn't worth squat. People can't sell anything. People have had things on the market for 15, 18 months and nobody's buying. Sorry, Fakey 101. Thank you for 35 Rand. I missed that somehow. Thank you for that. She tried her best, and I take my hat off to her. She opened my eyes to what power the DA actually has in Parliament, and unfortunately, they see puppets. That's today's problem. They think that they have monopoly on the state's best interests. They need to go back to the supporter base and have interests. As a party, that's probably true. Morning Delport, did you see the first expropriation going to take place? Yes, I'm well aware of that. Yeah, so, yep. And what they're going to do is they're going to steal the property from the people who own it. When they actually forbid them from evicting those people, they put laws in place to prevent the property owners from kicking the squatters out. So now they're going to claim it's an abandoned building because the squatters are in it, because they couldn't be kicked out because they would go to jail for kicking the squatters out. You see that? And then they're going to claim the building, and then they're going to charge the squatters. And that's what's going to happen. Charmaine said it was a good interview. She spoke her truth. Exactly. Nothing wrong with stating your view. Exactly. 100%. I thought she was a great guest. Nick says last time she spoke that long was in Parliament. I enjoy the video. One doesn't have to like what she says. Exactly. And so there's no reason to be disrespectful. The only way to restore your X again is to delete your Google and restore Google and reload. What are you talking about? Home affairs cues. Okay. Thomas Holmes, I'm from Orania, and you're right, Chris. It's in the middle of nowhere. It's in the middle of freaking nowhere, Thomas. It's here's the thing. So people are always like, Chris, go to Orania. Chris, go to Orania. Well, I've interviewed you, Stridham, back before anybody else was doing it. And I've also met him in person at the AfriForum Theater in Pretoria when we did the world premiere of Self-Bestuur, the documentary that Ernst van Zyl put together. I met him there. And I was also on Boer Media with him when the rally at the embassy happened recently. So I know him, and Orania interests me, but guys, it's in the middle of nowhere. You got some billionaire that's going to put me in a helicopter and fly me out there, put me in a light plane and get me out there, I'll go. But 9 hours of driving and bumpy roads out there, that's a commitment. Every time I try to come south there, I can't seem to find a window of the 6 weeks. I'd like to come for 6 weeks. That way I could also get up to Namibia because I've been there in ages. But once again, if I come, I'm confined to 4 weeks because events before and after really pigeonholes me in with other responsibilities. I mean, there's a lot to do in South Africa, a lot of places to go, a lot of people to see. So Orania is a bridge too far. And besides, if I go to Orania and do interviews, I'm going to post them. Maybe now I'll get some views, but before I wouldn't get any views. I'd get 300, 500,000 views for spending $500 to $1,000 to make a trip out there between petrol and lodging and staying and back and forth and the days lost. Yeah, that would and I wouldn't advance the story. Whereas a handicapped fake British journalist from Nigeria goes there and says, I felt unsafe, and gets, 1 million views on the video. And you get some idiot from America, a black guy, doesn't know anything about it, and he's disrespectful. He sits there and interviews you straight him, and he turns his head like this, like makes these weird faces when he's interviewing him as if he doesn't believe him. Yeah, those people, they get full access. No one denies them access. They're treated fine. And then they all lie. It's a whites-only town. It's not a whites-only town. It's an Afrikaners-only town. If you're an Afrikaner and you speak Afrikaans and you're Dutch Calvinist and you agree to abide by the rules of the corporation to live there, I'm not aware of any case of somebody being denied access to that. There's some coloreds who would meet that criteria. There's also some of you Afrikaners that aren't so white-looking, folks. So keep that in mind. Anyway. All right, so thank you, Thomas. It just happens to be that, white people are the only ones crazy enough to move out in the middle of the desert next to the Orange River. Okay, trying to get back to where I was at. Niels Becker, morning. Woke up a bit late. It's okay. It's early hours. Yaku Basson says, good interview with Emma. Thank you. Talking about the petrol price of sport stuff. I know. That's why I mentioned it. But 50 cents off, that was incredible. Mario Skeppers. Dominus Roblox. Okay. Do you play the game Roblox online? Gunter Bolcher says, morning, did you see what has happened to the Warriors cricket team? They got knocked out one day for not meeting quotas. Yeah, I was trying to find my video. I couldn't do it on my phone. Let me see if I can find it here. Maybe if I can find it. It might be on the other channel. Yeah. No, that's not it. 5 videos. That's not there. Vitality. Nope. I think it's on the other channel. Let me go look in the other channel. So let's see if the search will work. But this is the second most searched thing is YouTube after Google. I actually searched for it before, huh? It doesn't even. Oh, come on, man. Must be it. Anyway, I can't find now, but I did a video on this Vitality netball, so disqualified. That's 2025. No, I'm looking for something that was a couple years ago. Hang on, let me. Can't find it. Anyway, it was from a couple years ago. The women's Vitality Cup or something like that. The white player was injured, and you have to have 2 white players on the court for equity. And they put a black player in for a couple moments, and they were disqualified. They won the game. It was a semifinal. They were going to the championship, and they were taken out. It's the dumbest thing ever. Dumbest thing ever. It shows you the absurdity of racial legislation. It was absurd under apartheid. It's absurd under the ANC. It's utterly ridiculous, folks. Yeah, I enjoy watching tulips grow. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Look at them. They're popping up, and they're beautiful. They're beautiful. I love purple, obviously. They were for Women's Day. Did you see what's happened? Yeah, so I don't really watch cricket, but I was just making me think of the netball thing. Truth Social's warning shots. Exactly, Colleen, they're warning shots. Unfortunately, Congress is too arrogant to back down. They're also too stupid to realize what they are. And Seb appreciates the explanation. You're welcome, okay? Just moved to South Africa for the summer, then no daylight savings. You can actually live on briefly and private keys. Ivan Alpaslan, welcome to you. Bernard Kochkroff, Lorenz Abraham Graining, welcome back. Hey, Jarethra, you like the interview? Cool, okay. Oma Adams said, Holden Caulfield recommended you because I'm interested in South Africa and said you're great. Well, thank you, Oma. Welcome to the program. I appreciate being here. Thanks for you taking the time for subscribing. We do appreciate the subscription base. We're slowing down on subscriptions again. It's a tough push, There's a lot of people interested, so we got to keep pushing. Good morning. Looks like a lot of people just flowing in now. Michael Byrne, Eugene Eben Tiermalch, Kobitz Janssen, Marky Pretorius, Jacqueline Bota, Yolanda Silliers, Desmond Kotsia, Raina Fletch. Oma is trying to butter you up, Holt. Left-wing fools. Tesla's a publicly traded company. Elon owns less than 13%. Exactly. And they have hundreds of thousands of employees. It's the most American-made car in America. No car reaches anywhere near the percentage of American manufactured components and parts and total assembly as a Tesla. I don't like the electric cars, but that's a fact. I'm objective. I don't care for it. I would never buy a Tesla. They're rich white people toys, rich cater toys, not for me. But it is the most American-made car in America. And so they attack it. These people are morons. The same people that attack McDonald's and Starbucks because their feelings are hurt over the World Trade Organization. What did they get for that? All they do is destroy local business. McDonald's are usually, they're locally owned. So you harm people in the local community. You destroy their lives. Same like Burger King's. Bunch of morons. Jan Blaki, they're violent extremists. They need to be arrested and put in jail for their actions. Thank you for your work. Make no mistakes. The bigoted racist politicians and the mainstream media are taking notice of your channel. Oh, I'm aware of that, Jan. I'm aware of that. I've been here for a long time. They've just discounted me before because they didn't realize how great the reach was. So let's discuss that really quickly. So my program has long been shadow banned for whatever reason. I don't know why. I never violated one of their community standards. I had a channel taken down, never broke the rules, and then 23 months later they restored it after they did the damage. And that channel still exists. It's got 21,000 subscribers, but they hide all my content. I can put a video on this channel when I had 20,000 viewers, and a video on that channel when I had 20,000 viewers, had more viewers, and I would get 137 views for the same video there, and here I would get 3, 4, 5, 10,000. There's clearly something going on there. So, and the thing is, many of the subscribers are the same, so they didn't get notified from the other channel. Gideon, 200 yen. Today is also the anniversary of 3/11/3/2011. You're going to have to refresh my memory on that. It's late at night. I'm not remembering what happened on March 11th. So my channel hit 20,000, when was it? Late last year. And the 20,000 belies the actual impact of the channel. There's more people watching that. See, a lot of South Africans, they don't trust social media, so they don't subscribe. They don't have an account. Now, watch Instagram content or to read Twitter content, you have to have an account. If you can't read it, it won't let you go see it unless you log in. But for YouTube, anybody can just surf the web and watch a YouTube video. And if you're not logged in, then the content creator doesn't get the ad revenue. YouTube does. So they actually like that, which is fine. But a lot of South Africans watch this program and the numbers don't show up. So, but anyway, that's fine. So yeah, so you're right. People are taking notice. Well, they should take notice. This is objective. It's fair. I don't treat anybody unfairly. Name it. Now, public figures are different. Public figures are welcome for scorn for their stupid actions and their abusive behavior. Yep. Gauteng's become a real crap hole. Much happier in Limpopo, to be honest. Really? Okay. What's the price of a green card? There's no price for green cards. You can't buy them. We don't have corrupt government here. You can't buy a green card. Are you asking, is there a fee when you apply for a green card? No idea. Let's see. Fee for permanent residency card. Fee for U.S. green card for permanent resident. Okay. The cost to obtain a green card in the United States can vary depending on your application type, family-based or employment-based, and whether you're applying from inside or outside the U.S., but generally range from $2,000 to $3,000 for family and $2,000 to $5,000 for employment-based. So, family-based initial petition form, the I-130, is $675 for a filing fee. The adjustment of status, if you're already in the U.S., you may need to file this form to adjust your status to permanent resident. The fee is $1,140. And if you're applying for a green card from outside the U.S., you'll need to file this fee. It's $325. There are additional fees you may need to file for work permits, set $410 to $570. And there's a whole list of other fees here. So the thing is, as a refugee, that you're not going to have to worry about that. You're getting in the country and you're here. I don't know if you have to pay that fee as a refugee, though, but I suspect you don't. Does that answer your question? Ron, you being in the middle of nowhere is kind of the point. It is, Gideon. I'm aware of that. I get it. But you're not going to attract me in the middle of nowhere. Yeah, tomorrow's budget speech could be the breaking. It could be the end of the GNU tomorrow. We'll see. Not predicting that. I think the DA is too hungry to stay in power to walk away. My husband built substations, subcontracts with Escom and wind propellers on farms. Would he be able to find work? Yeah. We've although the wind stuff is dying down, no pun intended. Trump has put the kibosh on wind. Thank you, AH, for subscribing. Yeah, no. Yeah, of course. There's all kinds of work and energy over here. Absolutely. Rain is living in the Free State now in Virginia. In Joburg, house robbery victim of road rage attack. Taxis push you off the road daily. Service delivery is horrendous. Yep. It's sad to say this, but I can't wait to be able to leave South Africa. Where the hell did I go? There it is. Okay. South Africa, never look back to build a better future for my kids. Okay. Reg, I know it's early, but hit the like button. Yeah, hit the like button, folks. 333. Well, that's a cool number, 333. 500 Rand in Joburg gets you 115 units. All you talking about electricity. You should try to get an interview with Maget. I don't know who that is. I don't know who Maget Wade is. It's an odd name. There are more Afrikaners with their own beliefs who wouldn't fit the Iranian criteria than Afrikaners who would. The irony is Calvinism needed to be married and not a partner. Exactly. There you go. Whiskey is good. Franco Dutoy, how you doing there? Chuck U. Farley. When a crap hits the fan, Bloemfontein will be the safest place to be. It is known fact that we are 10 years behind the rest of South Africa. I think Clarence will be the safest place. Clarence is a century behind the rest of you guys. Mission DH, welcome you. Clarence is a century behind. I mean, the Clarence is stuck in the time that the town was founded in 1912. Okay. Roman Kabinek's newish podcast. Yeah, Roman Empire podcast. He does. He hasn't really promoted, though. He's trying to build up a library of stuff in there before he starts mentioning it to people. So, thanks for reposting the Constantiville. It was nice to watch something that doesn't make me more anxious. Well, I put a couple of them up. Henri, did you see my video on the Golden Gate Recreation Park? Yeah, check that one out. So I did that one the other day too. And I've got another one I produced yesterday, which I haven't loaded yet because I was worried that my videos were not getting any views. So that messes up the algorithm when you put something in there that's not, that doesn't soar, it lowers your stats and they stop promoting things. And right now we're trying to ride a wave and get as many people to watch as possible. But this is my video on the Golden Gate Recreation. And this was one of the more time-consuming videos. I had to go back and pull videos from my trip in 2022, my trip in 2024, was it? Or 2023. Put those videos together. One was in winter, one was in spring, so the scenery is different, green and brown. And then video from the Basotho Cultural Village. Also come up with a script that made sense. Actually recorded it separately with Audacity and then put the audio track underneath it, cut and paste and move things around to make it all seamlessly come together. And I think it's pretty good, but that one's got over 7,000 views. I'd like to see it a lot more, but it just proves the point that people don't like good news stories. They don't want to hear controversy and anger. But, you never make good, all you do is complain about South Africa. No, I promote stuff all the time. I have to go back and watch the content. Over 2,800 videos on this channel, plus another 1,800 on the original, most of which are hidden now. We're talking 5,000 plus videos I've done over the past 5 years, easily. Dov says we need our own land to build a farm, preserving our culture. Blacks want us to fall in with their culture. No, there's a lot of misleading stuff going on here. Most Black South Africans don't want that at all. There are some, but yes, most don't. Dragonland, I love my V8. That's why I haven't bought another Toyota Fronter. I would love to buy a new 4Runner, even though they're expensive, but they're 6 cylinders. I don't want a 6-cylinder. I want a V8. 13 employees are from color. Huh? I don't understand what you're saying, Reno. Cornelia, thank you, Figueroa, for your membership. You speak the truth and upsets. It does. It upsets a lot of people. Yes, $5 million for a gold card. YouTube is such a sneaky platform. It is, Roxy. It really is. But it's the best business model. No one else can replicate this. Did it freeze again? It did. It froze again. Son of a gun. YouTube has got... I don't know what's going on with them. It's been going on for a while here, folks. Whew. By the way, later today, Ernst Hertz will be on the program about the Pioneer Initiative. So hopefully that'll be a big audience. You can let people know about that if you don't mind. You can join us. That'll be at the news time. So if I do the news, I might do a little bit earlier, shorter broadcast of the news. I wonder if the recent cyber attack has any connections to nuclear plant paranoia. No, I don't think it does. Okay. If you're South African and want to come to America, a good thing to do would be to learn our formats and measurements. Fahrenheit, imperial measurements, get used to month, day, year format. Well, yeah, Faithful Farmer, that's a fair point. Oh, you're an American farmer. Cool beans. What do you do, Faithful Farmer? What kind of farming you do? I was a dairy farmer, mostly jerseys. Sold butter and milk, $1.25 a gallon, and made money. No subsidies. Yeah, so, but I mean, we use all kinds of date formats in America. We use military dates. We use a couple different civilian dates. So yeah, but it is a little different. Fahrenheit, yeah, but as you see, I've got Celsius on my calendar back there, or my thermometer. It's 21 degrees in here. And then as far as kilometers, every speedometer in every car has kilometers and miles because Canadians use kilometers. Yep. So, yeah, but good point there, Faithful Farmer, that you need to learn stuff. Fukushima. Okay, what about it? Someone clarify, at what age does a child need his own passport? Too early for sarcasm. Reg Dodd, I think children have to have passports to travel from birth anymore. I don't think you can travel with a child at all without a passport. If they're under 2, normally countries give them the passport to the age of 2, and then you get a new passport to age 5, and then every 5 years. That's a norm. That's not universal. So anyway. Okay. Anytime you want the child travel abroad, my daughter was 18 months when we got her first passport. Exactly, Arctic. Thank you. That's what I was just saying. Mark Bush, hello to you. How's it going there? Any relation to George? Hi, greetings from Cairns, Australia. Roland Clarence, welcome to you. Copy's back. Hey, Copy. Oh, the earthquake. That's what it was. Thank you. You told me the Fukushima, the tsunami. Thank you, Copy. That's why you guys were talking about it. I didn't understand that. Okay, got it. Thank you, Copy. You helped me understand what the date was. Tomorrow there's going to be crap. Well, I remember when Chernobyl went up because Udo Jürgens did a song, Chernobyl. I cannot find it. I had a 45 of that, and I cannot find the damn thing, and I never found it again. It was a Chernobyl. Die letzte Signal für die something. Am 26. April 1986. Yeah. The 24th of April 1986. Is that right? Chernobyl. Let's see if that's right, if my memory's any good. Chernobyl. Yep, 26th of April, 1986. Yep, boy, that's how it sticks with you. A popular song. I remember it because of that. Reg Doss, thanks for replying. You're welcome. When do you sleep, sir? I've seen that clock at every hour of the day. Hey, you have. Looking forward to watching what today? Okay. Good morning, Rhino Girl. MK saying there will be riots if that increases. Yeah, I got to do a video on that. Okay. And, they should, just arrest him preemptively for domestic terrorism. Big D's Diesel says, I'm going to advocate for you to be U.S. ambassador to South Africa. Well, you guys better get moving. They're going to need somebody to be nominated soon. So my grandson will have his own passport. He's 1 year old. If so, what would it cost? Well, Luis, it depends where you live. If you live in America, it's going to cost you $180. I hear it's $600 for first time, or 600 Rand for the first time passport in South Africa. I'm not sure that's true, but that's what I've heard repeatedly. Must want to have a passport. I don't have bucks for chucks. There goes my V8. Well, Dougie Raymond, normally you have to have passport travel internationally. We don't know what's going to happen with this program in South Africa. Normally for refugees who don't have documents, they're either issued by the United Nations High Commissioner of Refugees or U.S. will issue you travel documents once you're approved as a refugee to come to America. However, you are not real refugees. You are those who are going to come to America and be granted refugee status, and you're coming from an in-country situation. So I don't know the answer there. We'll have to wait and see. Okay. Thank you, Cornelia, for becoming a member. So my grandson. Okay. Really enjoyed your podcast, Emma Powell. Do you think DA will be able to do what they're claiming to move the needle? I don't know. I don't think they will be able to, unless they stand firm with the IFP and the Freedom Front Plus and the PA. They've all got to stand up and be firm about this. Yeah. Now, one thing I disagree with Emma is her take on Cyril, and I didn't rebut it. I meant to, but we got into the weeds of something else. So my view on Cyril Ramaphosa is not that he's genuinely interested in reform. I don't think he is at all. I think he's just arrogant, and he just cares about power and looking like the big guy, and he loves to have that, the paternalistic outlook. So I don't believe anything Cyril Ramaphosa says anymore. There was a time that he was convincing to some people, but never convinced me. I warned from the very beginning that South Africa had a chance to reform if they're serious about it, but I didn't really believe that the ANC was serious about it. And the Ramaphosa would not last, and boy, did it not last, and boy, was I correct in my assessment of that. No, the ANC is simply not committed to reality. That's the problem. Yeah, no, immigration isn't about the airlines, Arctic. It's about the immigration officials. So you got to have identity documents for that kid. Colonel, I'm a mechanic by trade. Nothing sounds like an American V8. Yeah, nothing rides like a V8 too. I get my Toyota 4Runner, which is a 2004. It's 21 years old, and I hit that accelerator. It's like taking off on a Starship rocket, man. Mechanic. Okay, so Ernst Rhodes, well done. Okay, well, it's not the first time he's been on. Still think Emma would look much cuter. And oh, stop it! All minor children traveling through South Africa port of entry must have an unabridged birth certificate. Yeah, that's another problem. Yeah, South Africa's idiotic rule is really disastrous. It's absolutely disastrous. Children under the age of 16 must have an unabridged passport, birth certificate, which is nonsense. Who has a birth certificate? Who carries a birth certificate on a holiday? So they've crushed a lot of holiday makers that want to go there. I mean, they did this to Idris Elba, one of the most famous black actors on the planet, and they treated him like rubbish because he didn't have a birth certificate for his son. Unbelievable. You know, well-intentioned stupidity. That's what it is. Yeah, tomorrow is the budget speech. 600 Rand, that's what I said. I worked on a farm in the Free State in a small town called Fortiesburg. Have you ever been there? No, I've not been to Fortiesburg. I've been to the Free State, but my experience has been limited to the Northeast, Clarence, the Golden Gate, Senecal, across down the highway into Bloemfontein, and then from Bloemfontein west to Kimberley. That's the only parts of Free State I've been in. Yep. Antoinette, welcome to you. Gerhard Benata, the chumps, is going to flung their waist at each other. Yesterday for his son, 16, says Talliard. Okay, Home Affairs website doesn't state minimum age for passports. Yeah, well, I don't care what Home Affairs says. I only care what U.S. Immigration says, because that's who you have to please when you come to the country. It's not Home Affairs that's on this side. So, yeah, when you come this side, you got to have one of these bad boys. So there you go. Got to have these. Doesn't matter your age. So it's interesting because when I got censored on YouTube, I was falsely accused of denying the Rona, which I never did. And those who've been with me a long time know better. So here are immunization records from almost 5 decades of shots. So, including, I think my original one's still in here from the Army. Is that it? Or is it this one here? It's one of these. Is this it? Let me see. No, this is the second one. It's not the original. Original must be this one down here. It's a beat up one. It's taped up and everything. Yeah, here you go. This is the first one when I came in the Army. So here you go. 40 years of immunization records. All that. Okay, that's one page. So it's a record book for that. Here's another one. World Health Organization, full of immunizations for everything from yellow fever to TB time tests. Here's a yellow fever. Oh, this is the one I got screwed on. So this is yeah. Oh no, that's not it. This is the Army did that one. I'm looking for the South African one here. I got one from South Africa. There it is. Those bastards. This is where the OR Tambo, they made me get a yellow fever when I had a yellow fever, but they wouldn't accept the white paper because it was printed on white paper. So they made me get this in 2010. I had to pay for this damn thing. I was already vaccinated against yellow fever, and they made me get it. Yeah, right there. So May 27th, 2010, yellow fever. You see yellow fever is written right there. Yep, South African book, because he wouldn't accept the one I had. So there's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And this is a page, so 7 books in a page. This is, yeah, this is a list of, let's see, we got hepatitis A, hepatitis B, gamma-globin, influenza, meningococcal, ACY, W, MMR, typhoid, smallpox, yellow fever. Oh, my goodness. Yep. Anyway, so, Yeah, 8 different. So the people who said that I opposed vaccines are just liars. I've been a pincushion for the military for 50 years. So, and how many of you have been vaccinated against anthrax, huh? Yep. I have been vaccinated against everything under the sun except Democrats. What else we got in here? Ooh, my favorite map company, Austrian Freytag and Band. They make the best maps. Freytag Band. South Africa. Great map. They make the absolute best maps on the planet. I've actually been to their publishing house in Vienna. Pretty cool. And I bought a bunch of maps when I was there. They're a little pricey. They've always been pricey, but they're the best maps ever. I hope they're still in business. I haven't been to Vienna in years. So, any idea to how long the program is out? No, Paul, I have no idea. Should have been done by now. I could have had it done the weekend. Sorry about that. And after, how long does it take for the process? No idea. I can't tell you. Normally, refugees are people sitting in refugee camps and they fled from from a conflict zone or sitting somewhere. Ooh, we're getting close to 56,000 finally. We're growing a little bit this morning. Cool. Trump versus South Africa. That's actually a good thumbnail that came up that was done. I had AI do that. So I'm running about 50%. 50% of the time I'm picking my thumbnails now. 50% I'm letting the AI pick because they pick some good ones. What's your take on Rumble? Main influential voice are moving there due to censorship. Curious about your thoughts. No, that's old news. People moved there 2 years ago. A problem I have with Rumble is that its live streaming sucks. Also, we waited 2 years for Dan Bongino promised live streaming to us for 2 years. Rumble is only for people who are already famous. Nobody not famous has made it famous on Rumble, to my knowledge. Nobody that's not been successful or not had a big following has got a big following on Rumble. You just don't get them. Only people who are famous that move over there get people because they're followers. They have enough big enough follower base that follows them. But compare Salty Cracker's YouTube base to Salty Cracker's Rumble base. They were not even close. I don't know if they are now. Also, Rumble's payment system is terrible, and a lot of people do this to make money. I haven't historically done it to make money. I haven't even covered my expenses doing this, which is fine. It's not the end of the world, but Super Chat certainly helps. So does the advertising revenue now. But my take on Rumble, it's okay. I have a Rumble account, but nobody subscribes there. So let me go. I haven't really pushed that stuff. So let's go to Rumble. I'll get you the Rumble link. So since a lot of South Africans couldn't get it to work, Rumble had a lot of problems in the early stages, the way that it sent data. And a lot of people could not, in South Africa, actually couldn't get into Rumble. So it's changed over time. They finally fixed it. So I've got several channels there, my channels. Let me pick one of them. Chris Wyatt Africa has 711 members. Oh, some people found it recently. Okay. But I haven't put anything on there in 3 months. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. I mean, but look, a year ago, interview with Neil DeBeer, 196 views there. I did this, the contrived Jason Aldean controversy, 171 views. I've never had anything take it big on Rumble. So here's what my Rumble looks like. Yep. So I'll share that with you if you want to become a subscriber over there. I haven't put any effort into it all lately. So most of the attention is coming off this channel, so we're focused on this one for the moment. South Africa by its own action and laws is disqualified stuff from the go. Correct. Petro Jakobsen, welcome to you. Quids is back. Well, hello, refugee from South Africa, waiting for the program to get going. I think a lot of people are. No relation to George. Okay, you answered. We're going to hear the words honorable members far too many times. Yeah, no kidding. Thank you, Stephen Nordkia. Thank you. When Trump fetches us, please come with Chris. Came with a backup generator. Yeah, I have big reflecting mirrors that during the day point towards a central location, and they heat up this molten salt, and it's underground. And so at night, I'm able to power myself by getting the electricity juice out of that molten salt. It's a solar thermal system. Keeps me going at nighttime. I said in 2017 that Zuma needed to win because then there was a possibility they'd slip under 50% by 2024. Yeah, no, Patrick. Yeah, you would have been attacked for, because it was all Raul for you. He's a businessman. I was like, you give me $350 million or $300 million worth of equity in 1994 stakes in companies, and I'm a multi-billionaire today. The only way you don't become rich is if you're incompetent. I mean, give me $100 million. Do you know how much money you make on $100 million? Even if the interest rate is 1%, it's $1 million a year. $1 million a year to leave your money in the bank. Yep. Anyone do passport in Cape Town? Okay. Tomahawk says, I know this because that's what I do. Not sure what we're talking about. I was in the U.S. with my wife and kids, bought a Lincoln Navigator. Oh. Yeah, that's... Oh, you bought or you rented. That's a freaking, what do those things cost? $100,000? Lincoln Navigator's sweet, man. Yeah, if you're immigrating to the United States, you're looking at $30,000. Refugees paying none of that. So that's a generous situation. Politicians should not be judged by what they say, by what they actually do. Agreed. And Trump is doing it. Maddie, morning, just finished work. Time for intelligent conversations. Well, welcome to you. Unabridged birth certificates required for all children due to child trafficking. Yes, but it doesn't stop child trafficking. Child trafficking is running unabated in South Africa. Just look at all the Zimbabwean kids kidnapped into South Africa. Yep. Regardless of all children, there you go. See, thank you for proving me right there, Arctic. USCIS, regardless of age, all children need a valid passport, air travel to another country. Spot on. Eben Terreblanche says, damn. Damn what, man? Over the last 3 years, business dropped from 300,000 plus to 7. That sucks, proud Neanderthal. Retha says, assume no news. I assume you mean news about the refugee program. This isn't a refugee channel, but no, we don't. Need to get my 5 passports, 3 of them for my cats. 3 of them for your cats? You better be getting ready to spend about 360,000 Rand to get those cats over here. Trust me, you have immunity. Well, I've got immunity to something, Beth. That's for darn sure. Oh, you mean to Democrats. Didn't know this. In USA, you can apply for a baby's passport before the baby's born. That's true. That way you have it at birth. That way you can travel when the child is born. Statement of fact there, Arctic. I didn't think to mention that, but that's a good point. Yep. I mean, it's not like their picture matters. Oh, you get a picture of a baby? Anthrax. Oh, yeah, no, we had anthrax because of people using it as a weapon. Anthrax is not a pleasant one. Yellow, the worst one that I've ever had, to be honest, the gamma globin was pretty painful. That thing was huge, and it was painful. All that fluid that went in your arm or your bum, supposed to get a bum. I always took in the arm, and I was skinny as a rail, man. Oof, that hurt. But people got in the bum, couldn't sit down. I could sit down, but I just couldn't do anything with my right arm. But the one that really sucks, that stings, is the rabies one. It's like a pinkish color. Let me change my microphone. I'll show you what it looks like. It looks just like this color here. At least the rabies vaccine I had. Okay, why is this not working? Come on. Okay. It looks like this, like magenta. There you go. So the rabies vaccine looks that color. Oof, man, you put that stuff in your arm, you got to go 3 times or it doesn't work. Not fun. Can you deny application? Do you have any vaccines? No, Paula. That's not going to be an issue. It's not a medical screening for that. Nope. Yeah, I'm like a test lab subject. Yep. Fly to Cape Town and get the visa after being unemployed for 9 months. Have an awesome day, Alma. Thank you. It doesn't look like that anymore. It doesn't show the potholes or roads. What's this? On the ambassador side, I'd much prefer you. You're far more connected to everyday South Africans. You've been genuinely engaged in the ground for a long time. That's true, Marcel. That's true. Also, look, let's be honest here. So a lot of what I say here is intentional to draw attention to things, and people get freaked out. Calm down. No, it's for effect. But that's not who I really am. I don't hold meetings and yell at people. I don't call people names. When it comes to diplomacy, I know the correct way to do diplomatic stuff. So some people are like, wait a second, this guy, you could put him in a room, man. He's volatile. He's going to go off on people. No. In a private conversation, I'll be frank with people, but you don't embarrass people in public. There's no value in telling the emperor he has no clothes on in front of the subjects, so to speak, in front of the audience. So you do that privately. No, I have a lot of experience in diplomacy, so yeah, I'm very adept at that. Trust me, and if you watch my interviews, you'll see that I'm very adept at diplomacy, because there's sometimes you don't ask questions because you don't intend to embarrass your guests. You're not going to get anything positive out of that. Good morning, Bertie Karen Fenta. Okay. Good morning, Marcel Kalk, Teresa Engelbrecht. I watched your interview with Em Powell, and I disagree with her on a couple points. Personally, I don't think the DA has much influence. I think you're probably right, Charmaine Oosthuizen. I just applied for my passport at Home Affairs. A lady said they have to report daily how many white people are getting passports. Plus, they unofficially asked if we were planning to... See, that they're not allowed to do that. That's illegal. They're reporting how many white people apply for passports. What a crock and moon. So I would go in with black face paint. Really. So they're reporting how many white people are being... they're terrified. They're terrified. When they break the law like that and gather data in that fashion, illegally, they're terrified. This is all avoidable. Get rid of the race-based laws. Treat everyone the same under the law. South African Human Rights Commission, drop your bogus lawsuit against Ronaldo Khoza and apologize to him. And then prosecute Nota B'Loi. No choice to work for myself. Age and race does not help when you're overqualified for a job. Oh, Rumble. Odyssey's another one, Chuck. I've got an Odyssey account too. And a Subscribe Star, Patreon account. Got all of them. But I neglect most of them. Children age of 18, you do need unabridged birth certificate if parents are not traveling. 18? Really? That's a South Africa thing. That's ridiculous. 18 as an adult. Why would you need a passport as an adult? Lost my vote, so good luck. Local elections. Just download the thing from the website and sign it. Never been asked for the permission letter, says Gideon. You have what? Salt? What? You have what with salt and what? What? Going on holiday to EU. Don't even mention plans to go to U.S. Well, if you have a plane ticket, they're going to look at your plane ticket. Unless you're talking about applying for, just say you're going to the EU. Yeah, I'm going to France. I'm going to France to try out the wine. We've had the Cape wine. We're on a global wine tour. We'll come back. Next year, we're going to Chile, and then we're going to go to Australia. New Zealand for the wine tasting, yes. Yeah. I need to go to Brockman. 1% of our own folk that have money and influence is trying very hard to keep us here for some reason. Yeah. Visit Inc. You're right. That's exactly right. Do look, Chris, below. Fabulous link. All the videos. There you go. Thank you, Debbie. So if you got questions about the refugee program and finance and background checks and who qualifies for refugee status in normal circumstances, go to that link. That's wait a second. That's not my link. What is that link? I thought that was the Substack. Does that take you to Substack? Oh, I don't know what that is. Someone's using my picture. I don't know anything about. Is that my Telegram group? Oh, okay, it's my Telegram group. Okay, gotcha. No, the Substack's the one I want. What's the Substack link? Let's go to that real quick. So, I don't know if you've got it handy there. Let me get to it. Dashboard. 172 refugee program. Here it is. Okay, view post. There we go. All right, so if you go to this link, I'm going to save this in another file, so I've got it. This is the Substack. I have a Substack account. I publish articles there periodically. I don't charge. Other people do. Maybe one day I will, but right now I'm not charging for the articles. I haven't ever done it, so let me see. I'm looking for it. Here we go. So I need to put that over here. Okay. So I've got it handy. Okay, there we go. All right, so now I've got it whenever I need to call it up. Okay, got that already. So what if you are against vaccines? It's your body. Yes, but there is a question of social impact. Those who have vaccine hesitancy and refuse to get their children vaccinated from measles, mumps, and rubella are causing an outbreak of measles, mumps, rubella in the United States, which has caused one fatality in a child already unnecessarily. It's a safe one to take, and most of the people coming in without the vaccines are foreign nationals who are poisoning the country. Vedant, would America ever change from imperial to metric? We use both. I mean, it's a misnomer that we don't use metrics. That's a fallacy. So here you go. 12 fluid ounces, 355 milliliters, right there in the bottom. You can't see it very well there. It's in that white spot. There you go. 12 fluid ounces, 355 milliliters. Everything is in dual. Our cars have miles and kilometers on the dashboard. You can switch the digital from miles to kilometers if you want. We don't put our signs up in that. You just got to follow the signs in miles. But yeah, everything is done in both. Temperature is the one thing that you don't usually find in both, but it's pretty easy. You learn how to do it. I mean, I can convert Celsius to Fahrenheit pretty well in my head most of the time. All right. So see, now it's 1 o'clock in the morning. We've been at this for an hour and a half. We're looking pretty good, pretty chipper. So You got one thing missing. Where's the biltong? You're all going to Lesotho. That's right. Tell them you're going to Botswana. Afrikaners with privilege here in South Africa are weary of accepting Trump's offer because they'll lose their economic privileges. Yep. It's impossible for us to get our passports right now in our area because the home affairs are currently full. Yeah, because everybody's trying to get a passport, but nobody's interested in leaving the country. Verde says, good morning. Watched the DA interview last night. Well done to you, but the DA stabbed their voters in the back every time. She has a lot of words, but her actions speak a lot more. Well, fair, but that's not Emma Powell's fault, so let's not blame Emma Powell for that. $360,000 worth it to get your cats here. Okay. You don't need yellow fever to come to the United States. The only country I've ever been required to have a yellow fever vaccine to enter was South Africa. Because I came from yellow fever region. I came from Tanzania, and I was required to show my yellow fever vaccine. The whole thing was a money-making scam. If I'd been exposed to yellow fever and had it already, getting the vaccine would not prevent me from getting sick, and I could have exposed other people. So they made me walk over, pay $120 US, $130 US to a little clinic that was there by the passport entry at OR Tambo. It's not there anymore, a little room. And it was a private company. They got $130. They only took dollars, and they only took cash, no credit card, $130 US, and they gave me a yellow fever vaccine jab, something I was already immunized against. Stupid money-making scam. Yep. Seeing that I identify as a thing now, identify as a U.S. citizen, can I catch a plane? Nope. Read a post a while ago about that. They were on their way to go metric, but the ship went down with the storm. New Trump self-exportation. What? The day starts now, later, Colonel and all. All right, Sean, have a good one. Yellow fever, rabies, hepatitis. Yeah, you got them all. Well, you're a pilot. Cholera. Couldn't lift my arms. Oh, yeah. Ooh, that's wicked. Petro Jakobsen. We said we're going to Mozambique. There you go. Passports for children under 18 or just the unabridged? No, you need a passport, Gerhard. You need a passport. Normally. Now, I don't know what they're going to say for refugees, but I suspect you need a passport. An attempt to switch to metric was made under Carter, but that was a total failure. Yes, because he's a failure. Did you ever tell me what kind of farmer you were there, faithful farmer? I missed it. Zandrea de Beer. I have family in Mozambique, so we'll also say going to Mozambique for holiday. Okay. Hey, Loretta. We have no right to ask where we're traveling unless we're applying for a country's visa. Yeah, and you're not applying for that through Home Affairs. Now, they have no legal right. They're breaking the law. And the fact that they're reporting white people getting passports, this is a huge violation. So I managed to get mine, and my wife's done, but they keep making excuses why my son's application won't go through. They blame the printer offline, but then the system is glitching. No, I mean, it probably is real. I mean, the Home Affairs is a disaster. Some places work very well, many places don't. Saragora, South Africa is still a British Anglo-American economy. It's not an Anglo-American economy, unless you're talking about the company Anglo-American. There's no American interest there whatsoever. It's not run by Americans. Beneficiaries to go are still white people in South Africa who exports. No, that's simply factually untrue. Actually untrue. $430 million a year in minerals come here, and most of those minerals are owned by BEE, black companies, majority black-owned companies. As far as the automotive industry, sure, lots of white people. Yep. But those white people are a small number, just like the blacks are a small number of blacks. So the fact that there's rich white people who make money off of Goa, and you blame white people for it? The fact that there's rich black people who make money off of the minerals, do you blame black people for it? No, it's silly. So people need to stop the nonsense of blaming people. Most people in South Africa aren't wealthy. Rabies shot, and I had uncontrollable urge to howl. Oh, my goodness. Okay, applied for a family passports Home Affairs site and chose the bank option. Fingerprint verification, can't get the bank appointment before April 8th. Yeah, that tells you something. If a single parent travels with children, you also need a permission letter from the second parent. It must be signed Home Affairs. I think that's true Home Affairs. I know you have to have the letter. But if you're coming to South Africa with a kid, obviously Home Affairs would not have signed your letter. It would have come from home. Well, people apply for passports. They don't come from banks. They just facilitate it. And all they do is they have a place for you to apply. It's no special thing. It's just that you don't have to stand in line to Home Affairs. Yeah, you can sign anywhere. Thank you, Arctic. I was going to say, I can't even get beyond OTP, part of Home Affairs. Just go try one of the banks and apply there. Thank you for the info. We'll get kids' paperwork in order. All right, Gerhard, excuse me. Anyone stay close to Belfast? Okay, no lines, 2 weeks, got it. There you go, Teresa. Okay. Nick, what is you and your hamsters? Every night you're talking about your hamsters. Only ever went to police station for my child. Got it stamped. Okay, culinary pirates. Yeah, a lot of people spread a lot of misinformation around. Some of it not malicious, some of it just poorly informed. And we try to get as best information we can here. But look, we can tell you what the law says, and then you show up and somebody acts outside the law, and you're like, they wouldn't let us do that. Well, I can't account for people breaking the law, or this whole thing about people actually. Is my other video airing right now? Let me see. It should be airing right now. It's probably over already. Yeah, let me see.
Okay, you got it.
I guess it's it's watching. It's a premiere in progress right now. Cool beans. Where are we at in the premiere? Come on, skip that ad. Looks like the premiere's over. I caught it after it ended. Yep, I missed the end of it. Just missed the end of it. Let's read the article in full later on. Who is saying that the Solidarity and Africa Forum, the guys who came to the States, never met with anybody. So my recommendation to those guys, if someone actually has the audacity to charge you with treason or charge you with a crime that you've not committed, you get that author in to testify for you because they're saying there's no evidence you met with anybody. So what crime did you commit other than traveling abroad? That's not a crime. Just saying. Meanwhile, in the same article, they claim that they didn't really meet with anybody except a right-wing podcaster in America. Well, obviously, they're talking about me, and the author doesn't have the courage to name me because it would undermine their entire lie. First off, I'm not a right-wing podcaster. I'm a retired colonel. I'm an intelligence officer, an intelligence analyst, a counterintelligence agent, a signals intelligence officer, a tactical intelligence officer, strategic intelligence officer, and a foreign area officer for Africa. Not to mention a published author in academic circles and in popular press, and currently a journalist who's published in newspapers and magazines around the world. It's just ridiculous. Energy industry analyst, dairy farmer, a university professor at the undergraduate, postgraduate level. Now, when authors like this run stories, they'll say professor or Dr. So-and-so or this person from this university. But there's no mention that I taught at university twice, undergraduate and postgraduate, just an effort to disparage me. Now, if you want to describe me as a right of center journalist or right of center journalist who does podcasts or does vlogs, that's fine. But the label right wing is intentionally put there to slander and insult me by lazy people in media. What I said earlier today in my broadcast is that media in South Africa are watching my broadcast. So I want to say to the Daily Maverick author, thank you for watching my content. I appreciate that. Maybe you'll learn something about objective journalism. That would be exciting. Instead of lazy journalism. No evidence. Well, if there's no evidence, then why are you publishing this opinion piece? Yeah, exactly. So that one just came up. So hopefully people will watch that. I just premiered that. So the premiere is over. Yeah, a lot of people here hopefully will watch it after it's over. It's a short video. Seb Lalo, where can I get a passport in Cape Town? And do they do photos too? I don't know, Seb. You'll have to look online. Chose the bank option, fingerprint. Okay, got that already. Okay, can't even go beyond. Okay. My American boss is renewing his U.S. passport and complaining about waiting 3 weeks. Well, I almost missed my trip to South Africa for the elections last year because it took 6 weeks plus. It's supposed to take 4 to 6 weeks, and I had to call to get it expedited, and they sent it. It was here the next morning. It was sitting somewhere in a desk. They hadn't sent it out for weeks. No, the passports in the States are not done by the State Department. The only ones they do are the diplomatic passports and the official passports. That's the black passports and the maroon passports. All the tourist passports, except for the ones that are produced on an emergency basis overseas, are produced by contractors, and they have multiple contractors. The closest place to send it here is Philadelphia. I don't know if it's processed there. That's just where they all go there, and they sort it and send it all over the country. So yeah, mine was sitting in Philadelphia for weeks. Yeah, I missed this. Your opinion of DA, not Emma. Are you keeping neutral on that subject? No. I think the DA is let South Africans down, and they act like they're doing South Africans a big favor. But their leadership has been non-existent on Bella, on the 3% black tax, on expropriation like compensation, and I think that the DA's effort to take a lawsuit is a mealy-mouth effort that's just done so they can say, well, we tried. Instead of actually taking action. Because the argument that their leader of the party has made is that, well, they're not confiscating land yet. That's illegitimate. You don't give that kind of power to any government, whether it's in Washington or Paris, London, Berlin, or Pretoria. You don't give a government the power to take people's property without compensation. And that's why I took such a strong objection to Ronnie Lamola's lying about America. In that interview, which appeared on Deutsche Welle, which is in the video I did this morning, that little clip, he says that every country has this. No, every country doesn't have it, Ronnie Lamola. You're lying. And I'm going to call you out on it because you're lying. And it just proves either he's ignorant or he's a willful liar. And I think he's a willful liar because I doubt he's ever even checked all these other countries. But no person shall be compelled in any criminal case to be a witness against himself. Well, that would be, I'm invoking the Fifth Amendment against self-incrimination. So you can't convict yourself. Nor be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law. So due process of law, nor shall private property be taken for public use without just compensation. So you can have your property taken with due process, or your life, the death penalty, or your freedom by being imprisoned for having violated social norms and broken laws. You cannot have your private property ever taken from you for public use without just compensation. It simply cannot be done. Now, we stole the Lee family plantation, which was in Arlington, Virginia, which is where Arlington National Cemetery is at. That was Robert E. Lee's ancestral home on the Potomac, on the west side of the Potomac. We stole that. We confiscated it. The Union did, because he rebelled against the country and he lost his home. And so a bunch of soldiers are buried there now because of that. So, but that was different. That was without due process, but he was a rebel. So anyway, one frequently asked question on hamsters. I'd be hesitant to say that they're counting whites purely due to this. 2022, I reviewed my passport, home affairs, and they said to me upon collection, "Oh, you're white," and they think it's something. Why would you be hesitant to say that? Not sure if you covered this before, but does your passport still have to be active when you apply for U.S. citizenship? You get a 5-year passport? Passports are normally for 10 years, unless they're for children. I never heard of a 5-year passport. Except our diplomatic ones and our official ones are done for 5 years, usually. Enjoy those Vax list years, brought back memories. Okay, worked for Shell and was told that I had to take a 1-month package because it didn't fit in with their aspirations. Wow. Sean says, I got my passport ID at the Belleville Home Affairs. The queue was long, so scammers convinced to take photos, but they do the photos inside Home Affairs. Gideon says, you're wrong. I traveled to China with my 2 girls, an actual Home Affairs document. The bank is just for biometrics. The actual passport application. Exactly. It still goes to the Department of Home Affairs. Exactly. It's just for convenience. You don't have to stand in the queue there. Watch your video with Emma Powell, says Marissa. Very interesting. I thought so too. Yeah, I caught you're leaving April 28th. I got that. All right, George. Anyone close to Vredendal or Malmesbury? Both branches. Okay. Arctic says, I'm not wrong. We print the thing on the website, fill in details, sign it with a commissary of oath. Haven't had a Home Affairs office in 15 years. Okay. All right, let's not argue. If you insist on getting it from Home Affairs, then go get it from Home Affairs. Arctic will do it his way, and apparently it works for him. My company and us as directors were registered with the U.S. Department of Justice. We were registered as suppliers. Okay. All right, Antoinette, on the NASDAQ, huh? Child passports are still valid for 5 years. Yep. I think the only place where the DA really became a threat to the ruling party is in the Peter Maritzburg and Pretoria. I'm not really sure what you mean by that. Right, children under 16 are children. Over 16, they're headed to adulthood, so they don't keep reissuing. It's 10 years. Yep. I watched Rob Hersof's speech at Hermanus last night. He explained why the DA and AFP can't push the NC too hard. I haven't seen that. Okay, when we applied for grades R, my daughter, we had to give an unabridged birth certificate. We managed to get an appointment on 3rd April and redo her passport. Okay, all right. Going around political circles, Patrice Motsepe mooted to be next president. Don't know how true that is, but Neil DeBeer was talking about it. Yeah, some people said that. He's definitely lining up stuff, so that's another businessman. Yeah, remember the whole situation with Botswana going on there. Anyway. All right, cool beans. Where are we at? 419 people currently here, folks. Let's take a look at the headlines, okay? Let me pop over here and take a look. What is this? Why am I getting this 115? Why is that not showing up over here? Oh, it disappeared. Somebody's chat disappeared. Let's take a look and see what's going on. Okay. I gotta find that netball thing. It's bothering me. Okay. News 24. Let's see if they've got any news out there. He called my complaint a waste of time. Cop allegedly assaults Bloemfontein woman in drunken rage. What? Oh, more black on black violence here. Parliament's Finance Committee heads back to Kieswetter on ditching VAT increase. Ramakopa has found a cure for Eskom's debt. False data distort complex picture of South African farm murders. Oh, let's see what they're going to say here. All right, this ought to be interesting from Cynthia Nabi Cabral. Interesting. Let's see what Cynthia Nabi Cabral has to say about this. All right. So, President Ramaphosa, okay. A South African expropriation law came under immediate fire from U.S. President Trump last month when he accused the government of illegally confiscating land from white farmers. Trump's blast was thin on evidence, but it reignited the emotive issue of farm murders in South Africa. Viral French post claimed 60 white farmers are killed every day in South Africa. Well, that's not true. While English Post said 4,000 have been murdered since 2018. That's also not true. It's 4,000 since 1994. Farm attacks are a reality in crime-plagued South Africa. The figures and the claims have been exaggerated. Experts say about 50 farmers of all racial groups are killed annually in a country that recorded more than 19,000 murders between January and September, and over 23,000 last year total. Yeah, so this is another effort to rubbish the fact that people are being murdered on farms. See, look at this. What's this? What's false here? What's this? There's a blank in South Africa. 60 white farmers killed every day. Okay, that's not true. The post has been shared thousands of times. The same account shared a similar post containing images of people who have been beaten or injured. AFP fact-checked the debunk. English language posts are circulating on Facebook and Instagram with more than 4,000 farmers killed. So these posts come from Daily Forum Center. Their timelines are populated with right-wing content from the U.S. So they're saying 1,455. Yeah, it's also much more than farm murders. It's the rape, it's the abuse, it's the terror that's inflicted. Son has a Namibian passport, but lives with us in South Africa full time. How old is your son? Is he a dependent of yours? Yes, he would be able to go with you most likely. They're not going to leave part of your family behind just because they have different statehood, if you qualify. When is enough enough, says Mr. Sergeant Duck. Yeah, good question. What's your problem, Colonel? It seems like you can only see wrong things. Welcome to the conversation, moron. Fucking dipshit. All right. Well, here we go. Can only see wrong things. Yeah, what a dumbass. Okay, here we go. So, published today. Well, the 9th, not today, yesterday. Amazing wine journey from French kings to modern vineyards. There you go. Positive story. And then before that, the hidden South African national park that will leave you speechless, the Golden Gate Recreation Park. Fuck off, troll. Fuck off. Yeah. What's wrong with me? Nothing. I don't tolerate dipshit, self-pleasuring hate wankers like you. Find somewhere else to go play with yourself. This is not a space for you. You're a fucking asshole, an asswipe, and a dipshit. You know, hit the road, Jack. Nothing here for you to see. You clearly don't care to see it, and we're not going to sit here and play your game. U.S. registered oil tanker, Portuguese name, collide in North Sea. Ooh, that's not good. Wife went for a booking at Nedbank. Okay. Farms and properties when expropriated. Who's responsible for settling bond? You are. You are, Antoinette Cronier. If they steal your land, you have to pay the debt. You can't escape it. No, bank will come after you. Yep, doesn't matter if the government stole your land. That's why we have the Fifth Amendment, so the government can't take your property. Yep. Boy, you went quiet quickly there, Trevor. You got another dumbass question to ask? So the system keeps crashing and massive over 350% increase in passport applications. Yeah, but nobody wants to go. Hi, Chris. Thank you for being an honest and truthful voice with continuous updates in real time. I'm looking forward to the refugee rollout. Well, I'm looking forward to the thing coming out eventually too. Preferably not when I'm traveling, so I can actually address it. Process of watching Farmlands documentary. Jean Spence, okay. What else you got here? Boy, he went quiet fast, didn't he? You know, I just early in the program said it's frustrating how people don't watch good news stories because they don't want to hear new good news stories. So that's the problem with whataboutism and with leftists. Oh, who are you as an American to talk about this? Well, we gotten past that. Not many of them can stand on principle for that because I just blow them away. Well, what about this? No, not about that. It's not germane. Well, America's got problems. Yeah, what's the point? This isn't a video about America. You want to watch videos of America? Go to my channel that covers America. Case closed. Done and dusted. Finished and clear. Jan says, is this a true story? Customer just walked into my reception. I paused the live. She looks at my screen and says, oh, you're watching Chris. I'm like, hell yeah. Are you serious? Is that a true story, Jan? Foot sec, yeah, to the troll. Yeah. So sad. It's true. That's funny, man. Dogs wake me up. That's not, I'm not gonna laugh about that, Martin. That could be, something could be going on there. Deliberate disassembling the blocks of American power. We need to consider the Russians penetrated the White House. That was, what? What are you talking about, Rainier? Antoinette, I'll take a pic reception with you. Yeah, there you go. Well, yeah, that's fine. I'll take your word. Just curious. So someone walked in watching me. Yeah, no, it's definitely getting a lot of attention. Look, I don't know why people are so afraid. I mean, look, I treat people fairly. Public figures are open for, criticism. That's the nature of being a public figure, especially if you fail people, where you lie to people. I'm going to expose you for lying. If you're just wrong and you're mistaken, that can be forgiven. But when you lie to people, that's not forgiven. You shouldn't have hidden agendas. That's what's so funny about, I always get a kick out of, it's comical. People attribute things to me that I've never said or never done. Yeah. Being fair isn't the norm. Yeah, well, it isn't the norm anywhere anymore, Tomahawk. Being fair is not the norm anywhere. Being honorable is not the norm for people in power. It just isn't. Yep. Gerard Benada says that Rob is sitting on the fence. I don't know what you guys are talking about. I didn't see the speech. I do know Rob. I'll have to find out about it. American problems are not a problem at all. We can overcome American problems. We have to live through problems every day. Lizzie Grayling, watch your interview with the A-woman. I forgot her name. It's Emma Powell. A lot of us fear the same thing, that Russia and China will take this country. Yeah, no, I think she has a concern there that's valid from her perspective, but China already owns South Africa, so it's a bit late to the game if you think China's going to take over. They already own it. Yep. Everyone that wants to leave South Africa with this amazing offer, how many of you have taken the time to actually do research going through U.S. Constitution and familiar yourself? Well, that's a good question. I mean, look, whenever I moved to a country overseas, and I lived in 16 foreign countries, I've been to 78 countries. I've worked in probably about 50 countries I've worked in. Whenever I went to a country, if I didn't know something about it already, I did research before I went. Always do it. All right. Well, okay. We see he's a racist. So bye, Trevor. Bye-bye, Trevor. Bye-bye. Take your racist, sorry, pathetic ass elsewhere. Yep. You've been settlers in South Africa, then you'll be refugees in the U.S. You are struggling. It's better you go back to your ancestral homeland, Holland. Well, you're a dumbass, Trevor. First off, fucking moron. If you're talking Afrikaners, they're not Dutch. Now, in fact, it's not even the major portion of their DNA. Those who are Afrikaner in South Africa are primarily German, then Dutch, then French Huguenot, and then some Khoi and San a little bit further down. Virtually none of them are Dutch, so to speak. So, Trevor, take your racist ass elsewhere. We don't need shitheads like you here. There are plenty of channels that you can go play on. Go do that and make sure that you release your grip on your member so the brain goes from your groin back up to your head so you can think clearly. Yeah, anyway. Nah, it's all right, Arctic. It's two's enough. Two's enough. Because what happens, he starts doing it, people start getting in it, fighting back and forth. That's what they want. So we sent him packing. It's just so sad that you've got to be such a bigot and a racist and a hateful person. You know, it's someone on one of these pathetic little channels that's stealing my content to get attention, to try to get subscribers for whatever reason, put on there. And then someone commented on it last night and said, Wyatt's a white supremacist. Really? Really? So advocating for people to be treated the same regardless of skin color, their faith, their sexual orientation, that makes you a racist? Well, then you just really don't know what a racist is. Someone like you that posts stuff like that, that's the racist. You have an animus against people based on their skin color, which makes you a fucking disgusting, vile human being. So there you go. Take that, you racist. Oh my goodness. Yeah, it's not his name. ANC sold South Africa to China. Yeah, they did a long time ago. Yep. No, it wasn't Trevor Noah. Because they have no life. They have no life. We've been dealing with trolls since the early days here, and I was a little too trusting early on, and we learned the hard way. So you're welcome, Peter. No, Herman, I'm not upset. This is not upset. I've been upset on this channel probably 3 times. Like when that young woman was murdered in Chicago in the midst of the Black Lives Matter stuff. And she had an infant, baby was just a few months old, and they shot her in the head in broad daylight in Chicago. They just murdered her. And they're running around talking about Black Lives Matter while they're out there murdering black people murdering black people in record numbers. Yeah, I just kind of pissed me off. I lost my crap that day. And the other time I lost my cool and I was mad was when a certain eucalyptus swilling crowd lied about me and called me a grifter when I was in South Africa, when I'd spent thousands of dollars out of my pocket on that first trip to go to South Africa. And I spent tens of thousands of dollars to do this. Yep. When will EWC get out of hand? It's already out of hand. The fact that the state has this kind of power to confiscate your land at their discretion is too much power for any state to have. Yeah, who gets up and looks for people's podcasts to talk? Well, they're getting paid, JJ Patricia. You have to understand it. They're getting paid for this. Someone is paying for them for the disruption. Thank you for the interview with Emma. I think it just shows what type of thought training the SA politicians have. Yep. Lindy Donhauser says, I watched DA late last night. I took issue with her argument that farm murders aren't targeted. Yeah, I didn't really want to get into that because it would have distracted from the larger conversation. Yes, there are targeted farm murders, and there are syndicates that do this. And there's no denial of that. And we've seen closed-circuit video footage of people with police body armor, with police handguns mounted in holsters, and with cell phone jammers and wire cutters to go through fences. Yeah, we've seen this. With night vision cameras, we've seen it. And it's been on more than one occasion. These aren't simply revenge killings. These aren't simply crimes of opportunity. Some are. But they're also target assassinations. And you don't go into a home and then pistol whip people, gang rape the daughters, and cut off the testicles of a man and shove them in his mouth, and then electrocute his infant in a tub because, well, it's just a crime of opportunity. That's a vicious, vicious domestic terrorism incident meant to frighten people off the land, and that's what it's done. The number of commercial farmers in South Africa in 1994 is around 72,000 commercial farmers. Today, it's somewhere around 28 to 30,000. We don't have accurate estimates. Also, the lies being perpetrated by Ronnie Lamola, by the ANC, and by many others about who owns land in South Africa is totally ridiculous. They're taking the 2017 land audit, which is the most recent land audit, and lying about that, claiming that white South Africans own all the land. It's total horseshit. First off, there's 114 million hectares of land in South Africa. 93 million of that in 2017 was owned by private individuals or corporations or trust. The other portion was owned by the state. So 21% of the land surface area of South Africa was owned by the state. Of the 93 million hectares, 36 million was classified as farmland. That includes grazing land in northern Karoo and includes verdant sugarcane fields in KZN. So 36 million hectares of farmland. Of the 36 million hectares of farmland, 72% of that was owned by white South Africans. That is true, but a small number of white South Africans, 95,000 white South Africans out of a population of 4.8 million in 2017. That number has gone demonstrably lower than that, and that's why they won't do a land survey now, because it will prove that whites don't own most of the land. So at that time, that meant that whites owned a total of about 23% of the land in South Africa. Or 29% of the surface area, 29% of the private owned land, and just 23% of the total surface area. So whites own 23% of the total surface area of the country, 8% of the population, 20% of land owned by South Africans. But they didn't own 80%. That's nonsense. Never the case. They haven't started in Joburg. They say they're going to do it. Yep. are issues behind that, which is unfair. The actual owners, because well, it's not just lack of police enforcement. If you kick out squatters, you get charged with a crime. You're not allowed to kick people out of the building. So, yeah, that's they use the law to prevent them from recouping their building. Then they claim it's abandoned, and then they expropriate it. It's a real good gig if you can get it. I sent you an email explaining all this. It was in an ANC attorney file. What are you talking about? Did you see that the interview with Trevor Noah advocating to bring back? Yeah, he's an idiot. Yep. I covered last night what happened to the White House, not tonight, about the shooting. Yeah, yep. China's overrated. It doesn't have the capacity to replace the U.S. No, it doesn't, and it's just a disaster waiting to fall. Watch the interview, about 45 minutes of the interview. She stated that after reform reject the refugee program. Did I hear correct? I don't recall her saying that. I have to go back and listen to that. DNA test. I'm German, Scandinavian, French origin with a little bit of Czech. There you go, Xander, and you are an Afrikaner. Yep. Well, there's already violence, Fiona, and there was violence in 2021. South Africa is prone to violence. I heard that the other day when putting earphones on. Wow, that was some serious shouting. Almost fell off my chair. Had my timing. Which one? You mean the black lady, or are you talking about when I went off on Ronaldo's program back in 2022? Dad was Scottish, was adopted in South Africa. I guess my DNA is Scottish, but then I was born in South Africa. There you go. I'm here every day and not asking, commenting much, just enjoying Chris and reading the chat. Well, thank you for that. Okay. All lives matter. That's correct, Martin. Yep. Honest question. If you know, I heard quite a few people leaving Ethiopia to South Africa since December. Total media blackout. I haven't heard that, but there are plenty of Ethiopians floating around South Africa. That's for darn sure. But I haven't heard about that. But Ethiopia's got a lot of problems. Just ask them why they never claim undeveloped land. It's always developed farm. Yeah, because they want the improvements on it and they let it go to crap. White's never even owned 80% in 1994. 15% of homelands plus parks. Unbelievable how people just forget about the land restitution process. Yeah. The government has purchased 3.9 million hectares land. Where's that? How about an audit on 3.9 million hectares land and see what's happened to it? I've heard that William Petzer's got a video saying 90% has gone to waste, and there's a lot of truth to that. I've talked about the Edenvale farm and the other one there in KZN. Home invasion 2010. They held us at gunpoint while they ransacked our house, assaulted my husband, hitting in the face with a gun. Most terrifying experience. Still haunts me. See, it affects you forever. You never feel safe again. It's terrible. The left America have serious Trump derangement syndrome. Yeah, they do. They're sick. Last week, some idiots were spreading crap again. Wow, I did not turn the volume down before I put them on. My half Afrikaner side is equally distributed of Dutch, German, French, with some Scotch. Yeah, Trevor Noah likes to play the race card. Sympathy for Linda. Oh, she had the assault. She said African reject the refugee program. So, yeah, well, they didn't. Maybe I was focused on my next question, so I missed that. Chris must say my big boss is an American living in New Zealand for years, retired Army, started engineering company here. He only wants South Africans. On the biggest problems in our area is corrupt police. They take bribes. They visit Malawians who stay here battling to get their work permits, and they extort them. Yeah, that happens. What about a law if the land is not productive? It should go back to the owner with interest. That's not what the law says. Thoughts on U.S. potentially recognizing Somaliland? I heard people float the idea so we could build bases there due to problems with Djibouti. I recognize Somaliland. I don't recognize Puntland, but I recognize Somaliland, and I've recognized it since they declared their independence. They have a functioning government. They tax. They provide security. They have national defense. They've defeated the Al-Shabaab guys. Yeah, I've recognized Somaliland as a country. I have for a long time. Charmaine, yes. Well, that's the South African media claiming that they're going to use the Zondo Commission report. We don't need the Zondo Commission report. We're well acquainted with South African corruption. Probably better acquainted than the Zondo Commission. Trust me. Working day started now. Okay, Tim Martens, how's it going? Antoinette Cronier. Okay. Crime has no color. It's how it affects everyone equally. Major problem is corruption. Yeah, it affects everyone equally, but there is truth to the fact that at the rate that farmers and rural farm people are attacked is much higher than anywhere else because they're more vulnerable than anybody else. Happened to me and my wife twice. We came home to them going through our home with all our property. It was laying on the front door, and they took our car and loaded all our stuff and left. Jesus. Oh, it's horrible. If only claymores were legal. Well, I want those damn automatic weapons that are tied to movement. They detect movement from the movie Congo. Remember that when the apes attack? Get those automatic weapons and the apes come moving. They start. Freaking awesome, man. I want those cruiser weapons that have no crew. They're just automatic. It was incredible, man. That was good stuff. I love that part of the Congo movie. Those apes come flying through the great silverback and blow it up. Oh my goodness, that was something else. I love that movie. What happens if you don't have a passport? Christo, are you talking about refugee program? We've answered this 1,000 times. 1,000 times. I don't know. No one knows. It's an unusual situation. We have to wait and see what the program is. You need to get a passport. Get a passport if you're interested in this. Want the one that's hooked up to your CCTV. I want one that gives me a HUDs like the Apache helicopter, and I just turn my head and it fires. It's cool. Yeah, those are cool. The guns we put on the Apaches are incredible. I'll tell you, the most impressive thing I ever saw, though, was two things. DPCIM. Those are bomblets that come down from two F-16s bombing the Republican Guard right in front of me. I mean, literally, just a few hundred meters in front of me, things exploding in front of me, just barely beyond the range of the safety range of that. That was incredible. Watching those, so I can still remember it to this day in the Gulf War, standing there outside my M577 track vehicle with my headset on with a long cord that ran around the back of the track as I'm watching the battle unfold, standing in the sand in Kuwait as those DPCM bomblets fall down and then they hit. It's like a ripple effect. It was incredible. I'll never forget that. And then thinking about there are actually humans underneath that. Not anymore. That I'll never forget. And then the other thing is when I was a cadet at Fort Lewis, we get the orientation day. They take you out and all the branches try to recruit you to come to the branch. So you have air defense, you have artillery, you have infantry, you have aviation, all trying to get you to sign up for the branch. And so we went out in the air defense and they fired a Vulcan. Oh my God. The Vulcan air defense system. Man, that's incredible. Wow. No, you are mistaken. Apaches were not designed and made in South Africa. No, they're an American. The Rooivalk is a competitor, but they're not the same. They're not the same. Completely designed in America. Nothing to do with South Africa. Nothing to do with it. It's competed for contracts, and the Apache won because South Africans were just being strung along. So let me see if I can find Vulcan firing. Vulcan anti-aircraft gun firing. Let's see if I can find this. Listen to this. This is a phalanx, which is essentially a Vulcan on a ship. That's yeah, and when you're down on the ground near it, it's even more impressive. That's on a ship. So
Top 10 most powerful.
Anyway, the Vulcan is unbelievably impressive, but they've retired them. I only run my own one-man show, driving school. Tires are black. That's good enough. All right, off to work you go. Did hear that the head tracking gun was developed by Cricor. Anyone know? Yeah, they did develop one, but the U.S. developed its own. Yep. Yeah, Charmaine. Stand next to it. Man, that thing is incredible. The Warthog has a similar sound. Yeah, when it fires, it's 30. It was a 30 millimeter cannon that the A-10 has. Yeah, A-10s are incredible too. The first time I was ever in A-10 was in basic training. They came from Scott Air Force Base in Illinois, or no, Chanute Air Force Base. Chanute Air Force Base in Illinois, not Scott's Transportation. And I was at Fort Leonard Wood, and they would fly over the ranges. We're out at the live fire. So they put you out on a range, and they scare the bejesus out of you because they're going to fire live ammunition over your head. It's a confidence thing. They fire live bullets over your head. But what I don't tell you is that if you stand up, you're not going to get hit because it's like 30 feet over your head. But you see the bullets going over your head. So it helps you get accustomed to live bullets flying over your head. It was freezing that day. It was so cold. I remember the damn heating tent people were smoking. I couldn't breathe. I kept going out in the cold, freezing my ass off. But standing outside and an A-10, you don't hear him coming. He came and I never heard him. And I just happened to hear this little whisper in my head. I looked up and an A-10 flew over my head. If I'd have been on any enemy combatant on the battlefield, I'd have been dead before I even knew an A-10 was there. When they go by, you can hear it, but you don't hear them approaching. It's crazy. They come along really slow. Yep. Yeah, Airwolf. Yep. My father was a midget. My mother has stage 4 breast cancer. Oh, my goodness. I'm so sorry to hear that. So sorry to hear that. Saw a video on the gunship. Can't remember what aircraft. Scary as hell. 30 millimeter. Yep, cannon. Hey, Jonathan Dutoy. Seen that gun mounted on a C-1 type aircraft. Donald Trump and Elon are actually our only advocates in the White House for FD program. Luckily, they have the loudest voices. Elon Musk is not your advocate, Lindy. I don't know where you're getting that idea from. It's not him. The people pushing for this are people like Ted Cruz and other members of the Congress and a few people on Trump's team. It's not Elon. Elon is definitely putting a lot of tweets out there. Maybe he's becoming more. He's not the reason why this is happening. Anyone wants a vibe to go on YouTube and open up a clip of UH-1 Huey flying. It was named after the pilot in Airwolf. Really? Okay. Things don't happen quickly at USCIS. Ask the staffers who have been dealing with them for years. Yep. Nothing can replace the A-10. Sadly, yeah, it's a fantastic aircraft. Yep. And they're flying tanks. They take a lot of hits and keep flying. Daniel Bruns says, Colonel, you have been consistent with your speech for the last 5 years. I have. It's because I deal with the truth. Now, if something, the truth changes, facts change, then I can change. But yeah, no, I deal with the truth. Yeah, Airwolf, I didn't really care for it. Jan Michael Vincent, I think, was in that. People love that show. It wasn't really my cup of tea. I also didn't like Knight Rider, Kit, and David Hasselhoff. I did like, what was the beach movie he did? Not a beach series, a TV series? What was that one that was the most popular show in the world? Yeah, Magnum P.I. I didn't appreciate it in its day, but I like it now. Thick fog over the desert, that they're in the camp. Oh, the Angola. Baywatch, thank you. Yeah, Baywatch. I loved Baywatch. No, just kidding. Most of the female lifeguards haven't held up well in life. They don't look so great years later. Some people think they are too old to get work in America. They must Google videos of people working in America. It doesn't matter. There's no, Babe Watch. That's right, Freya. Babe Watch. The bigger picture, the ANC is in bed with WEF. Yep. Riptide. Okay. Knight Rider. Yeah, I didn't. Yeah, look, I'm not a Hasselhoff fan. He's huge in Germany. They love him. Boob Watch. Yeah. Yeah, he's big in Germany, Hasselhoff. The Germans love David Hasselhoff. They love him. He's a singer, so yeah. Hey, Crystal. Yeah, you're as old as you feel, except that sometimes your body doesn't agree with that, but yeah. So, I was never a big fan of Hasselhoff, and I wasn't a big fan of Magnum P.I. I didn't like Tom Selleck at all until he was on Friends, and then I kind of liked him. When he was Jennifer Aniston's boyfriend, I liked his character. Or no, it wasn't Jennifer Aniston. It was Monica. It was Monica's boyfriend. Yeah. So so I kind of grew on him, and then I watched his Jesse Stone movies, and awesome. So now I've gone back and watched some Magnum P.I. and I appreciate it a lot more. The new Magnum really got. Oh no, the new Magnum, the new MacGyver, all this, all these shows that they're so woke. I mean, I'm watching a show that's based in Canada. It's a century ago, and a third of the cast is Asian and black, and there were no Asians or blacks in that part of Canada 100 years ago. This is nonsense. I mean, are you going to do a film with Shaka Zulu where half of his lieutenants are white guys? Come on, man. The A-Team. B.A. Baracus, bad attitude Baracus. I'll pity the fool. I'll pity the fool. Finger the Colonel as a World Turns viewer. No, General Hospital. Said I met the Hoff when I was in hospital for my leg in A2. I was a Knight Riders fan. Cool. Okay. Mariki. And I see that Lindy had a question. It looks like Arctic has answered it. Yeah, the original MacGyver was great. So the original MacGyver, the actor, later was on Stargate, of course, and he got to start as Jeff Weber on General Hospital. Yep. Yeah, my favorite Baracus. Love it when a plan comes together. Great part of the team. Yeah, that's a great. I love when a plan comes together. It's a great line. What I liked about that, I liked the who was the weird guy on that show. He later was on Star Trek: The Next Generation, wasn't he? I think he was on there. Played a really good character. South Africa invented the nose gun back in the good old days. A-Team with Bradley Cooper was awesome. I haven't seen that. Yes, General Hospital. If you were in university in 1980, 81, 82, 83, and you didn't watch General Hospital, you weren't a university student. Everybody watched it. But I started watching General Hospital in the mid-'70s. Yep. Colonel Jack O'Neill. Yep. He was Jeff Weber on General Hospital in the 1970s. Stargate SG-1, Stargate Next Generation was my favorite. Stargate Atlantis is my favorite of the Stargate series. And actually, over time, Deep Space Nine has kind of become my favorite Star Trek series. I really like Star Trek Enterprise, that one with Scott Bakula. That was really good. It ended prematurely. I think that could have been the best series ever, but it was just ruined because Paramount's a bunch of shitheads and they decided to cancel it. And then later come back with this woke garbage. Now, this latest Star Trek Discovery, whatever it is, it's so woke, it's so anti-white. Every white person's evil, or they're gay, or they're wearing alien makeup. Yeah, and everybody in charge is a black woman, or an Asian woman. It's just ridiculous. Just ridiculous. Pick the best actor, pick the best character, and stop playing your woke nonsense. So it's unwatchable. Star Trek went from a great thing that talked about unity and didn't differentiate people on race. I mean, look at the original Star Trek crew, the first ever interracial kiss on television. William Shatner and Nichelle Nichols. It was a huge thing back in the time. It was only on for 3 seasons. Sulu, he had a Russian in the Cold War that was on the not Sulu, a Japanese guy on the bridge, and we had Chekhov, a Russian, during the height of the Cold War. You went to planets where people were half black on one side, half white on the other side, and the reverse. And the Star Trek crew from the Enterprise is like, well, what's the problem? We're different. And looking, I'm like, you look the same to me. No, he's white on that side, I'm white on this side. And so they wiped each other out in a fruitless war. And they just point out the stupidity of racism, bigotry, and all that stuff. It was fantastic. And now it's gone from that to marginalize, remove all the white men and make them evil when they're counted on here. It's just ridiculous. Just ridiculous. So I can't watch anymore. Hey, Charles Boyson, how's it going? Do you think the DA who live in their own bubble will withdraw from the GNU? Well, Anton Mulder, as I said in my interview with Emma Powell today, this might be the most consequential 48 hours in post-apartheid South African history. The GNU could collapse this week. I'm not predicting it's going to, but I said it could collapse. They haven't got a budget deal. I think they're going to kick it down and they're going to postpone the budget thing for a little bit longer and hope that something happens. But Tehran, Beijing, Moscow are not coming to South Africa's rescue. Not going to happen. Sibin Dalan. Oh, I used to watch Sibin Dalan too. Yeah. Yep. It was on. Yeah. I used to watch that. Yep. El Kadag. I didn't watch it every day, but I did watch it. I liked Sibin Dalan. You had color folks, you had white folks, you had black folks. It was pretty cool. Yep. Babylon 5, I didn't really care for much at the time, but I've grown to like it over time. Tim O'Hare, Living the Light. Thank you for signing up. The thermal solution from, what the heck? I'm with you on this wokeness in movies. In every place they break this system. It's ridiculous. I mean, it all started, the first time that I noticed that there was really issue was back in the 1990s when, what's her name, played Snow White or Cinderella. The teenage Moesha, or whatever her name is, the one who played Moesha. She played Cinderella. I'm like, what? That's a German folklore tale. There are no black folks in the Black Forest. Just because the forest is black doesn't mean the folks are black. Didn't watch TV much after the 80s, maybe X-Files. You can buy a paintball sentry gun from this other company. Okay. Egoli died out. Yeah, I watched Egoli too, but Sibin Dalan was more my cup of tea. Trompion de Buxembenda. Maybe Trump swept the leg. The bricks. In your opinion, if GNU breaks up, is that good? Well, it's not a bad thing, Kai, because they're not going to link up with MKs. So forget that. That's not going to happen. They could link up with EFF, but I don't think that's going to happen either. Malema will want too much. They're not going to give it to him. So what would happen if that's the case is that South Africa would have a government that's a plurality. So they'd have over 40% of the vote, but they couldn't take decisions. So that will result in paralysis. That means no more racist laws could be put in place. That's good news. It was the best option, I think. So anyway. All right, cool beans. Where are we at here? Just want a man to be a man, a woman to be a man. It's too much to ask. Crystal, I think that's fair. Sorrow the Sea Monster. I don't know that. I remember the photos, storybooks, Full Metal Jacket. That's not my cup of tea. I didn't like that. I did like Black Hawk Down. That was a good movie. Yep. And I also liked the Zulu movie, the original Zulu movie with Michael Caine, his first movie ever. By the power of Grayskull. I think it's a slap in black people's face to redo these characters instead of making them new content. I agree. It's a slap in everybody's face. It's not believable. I mean, what was I watching the other day? Some show, and the character's name was a German name, and he's being played by a Vietnamese guy. What? Yeah. Anyway. My mother was hijacked at gunpoint. Father-in-law shot back when we went to the bank to deposit his business money. Oh, my goodness. Didn't like the song of Star Trek Enterprise? I did like the music for Voyager. That was good music for Star Trek Voyager. Yep. Yeah, I liked all of them, folks. Gummy Bears. What about Gummy Bears? I liked all of this. I'm a sci-fi guy, and I liked all the Star Trek. I liked the original Star Trek, watched as a kid. Next Generation, when it came out, I was stoked. It was a great show, although the first 3 seasons were kind of rough, but then it got fantastic seasons after that. When Deep Space Nine came out, it was very controversial, but I liked Deep Space Nine. I love the casting of Avery Brooks as Benjamin Sisko. I didn't like the fact that he was kind of wussy in the first couple seasons, but then he came in with a shaved head and the Van Gogh, and I'm like, yeah, that's Hawk. Yeah, that's Captain Benjamin Sisko. Yeah, I love that. And they gave him the Defiant, and they created the Jem'Hadar and and the Founders. That was great. I love that series. And I watched this thing, this documentary that Ira Stephen Bear did. He's the guy that put that together the other day, and I lost a lot of respect for Ira Stephen Bear. He's got some serious issues, and he's a hateful person, unfortunately. It's a shame. He went on and on about the series, and he's like, well, we didn't do enough to advance sexuality. I'm like, shut up. It's not about that. Just enjoy the show. Anyway, but yeah, he's typical wokey, which really ruined it for me, because it's when these people that make these shows, you don't know about their stupid beliefs, then you enjoy the show. But I had to hear him. But it was still a fantastic documentary, and they pulled the skin back. They had Terry Farrell on there. She was emotional, almost in tears, about how she got kicked off the show. And then I like Michael Dorn, who plays Worf, one of my favorite characters of all time in the Star Trek universe. Michael Dorn, a great actor too, good looking guy. Michael Dorn said, only the people involved will ever know the truth. We know what we were told. I think that was a great statement. Yeah, it's like politics. But Deep Space Nine was a great documentary. Armin Shimmerman, who played Quark, was on there. They had all of them on there, except even the ones who died. A couple actors who've now since died. That was filmed in 2019, I think it was, just before Rene Auberjonois passed away. I like what Rene Auberjonois said. He said, at least now I won't be remembered for his character that was from his 70s sitcom, because we remembered as Odo. It's fantastic. It was a great documentary. Really enjoyed it. And Deep Space Nine stands the test of time. I can go in here now when I go to bed, turn on DS9 and watch it, and it's as relevant today as it was back then. And then they came out with Voyager, and Voyager was so disappointing from so many aspects. I mean, I like the concept, I like the idea, but the problem is that Janeway was the biggest wuss and worst captain in the history of Star Trek. I mean, she lost her ship every other show. Someone stole the Voyager, they stole her ship from. Like, seriously? Come on, you can't catch on. These guys are going to do this. Yeah, but it got better when they brought 7 of 9 on that show. Boom, that's when that show took off, 7 of 9, and it became much better. But they had a couple good episodes, like the one where they had found a wormhole, but it was so tiny they couldn't get a ship through it, but they could get communication from the Alpha Quadrant to the Gamma Quadrant, or the Delta Quadrant, and they were talking to not a Klingon, to the other ones, not the Cardassians. Anyway, but the bad guys on the other end. So but it turns out it was not only a wormhole, but it was time. So they were talking to someone in the future, and they're in the past. It was pretty crazy. Anyway, but that was a great episode. But Voyager became better when 709 came on. It was a much better show. And then Enterprise came along. Enterprise was fantastic. I love that show. I have the whole series. Linda Park was a great communications officer on there, very attractive lady. She was later on Bosch, playing the second wife of the actor who was from The Wire, who passed away. Really good actor, black guy. So she was great. Scott Bakula was fantastic as the captain. Connor Trenier was great on that show. It was just a really good show, and it was canceled far too soon. A lot of us offered to pay money, and $3 million was offered up to Paramount to continue production costs to keep making the show. From private investors, money was ponied up. I also offered some money because we love the show, and Paramount canceled it because they're little shitheads. They wanted to go woke, and they did. They came out a few years later with this Star Trek Discovery nonsense. They came out with Picard, which was pretty good. Picard was pretty good, except it became a little woke in the end too, which was annoying. But it was a decent show. But no, the Star Trek universe is really incredible. V was good. Yeah, the original V was pretty good. Robert Englund, yes, yeah, Freddy Krueger. Yeah, that was really good. I love that. When she ate the rat, that was wild, man. Her jaw disc. Wow. Yeah, George Lucas got woke too. 6 guys wanted to hijack me in Belleville. Well armed, so I just walked around my car, tapping windows. I did try to report to police. They refused to make a report. Yep. Airwolf and Knight Rider. Oh, Firefly is incredible, Faithful Farmer. Firefly is my all-time favorite. Firefly is brilliant. Firefly is what Gene Roddenberry wanted Star Trek to be. Gene Roddenberry called Star Trek the Wagon Train. Wagon Train was a big Western series in America. The Wagon Train to the Stars. That's what Star Trek was supposed to be, but it never really became the Wagon Train to the Stars, in my view. The real Wagon Train to the Stars was Firefly. Josh Whedon's Firefly. It's the best series ever. Absolutely brilliant. And it was all messed up because Fox screwed up. They started with the 3rd episode out of order, and they were doing it during the baseball playoffs, and then they didn't play it for a week or two. Then they brought another episode in. Then they didn't play it for a week or two. Then they brought the first episode in, and they played like 9 of the 13 episodes, and they canceled the series. What a dumb move. That was a payback because he had done Buffy the Vampire Slayer and made them billions of dollars from Buffy the Vampire Slayer and then Angel with David Bonerantz. And so they had to pay him back in their view, so they let him take off this idea. But that was his best writing ever, was Firefly. Oh man. Browncoats, love it. I mean, everything about that show is fantastic. I love Firefly, the best series ever. It was incredible. It's the best sci-fi series ever. And then they did the movie Serenity, which is a great way to wrap it up. I would like for Josh Whedon to come back 20 years later with Firefly, with Mal, and with Summer Glau. That's where we saw her for the first time, Summer Glau. And it was what a great series that was. Fantastic series. Yep. I loved that. Firefly's the best ever, man. No, hands down. I watched Dr. Quinn when I was younger. I'm embarrassed to say it, but then, Jane Seymour was hot at that age. Anyway. Fire Country. I haven't watched that. No, The Expanse was okay, but it was also woke in many respects too. The Expanse was really good, but it wasn't the best series ever. Elzette Venter, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate that. It's been a while since someone put up there. The Expanse was good, but I just didn't like. There were some really hard things to follow in Expanse. Great series though. Magnum PI. Okay. Oh, Serenity is on YouTube? Okay. Cosby Show was big. Yeah, it was big everywhere. E.T., yep. Best show, Chris Wyatt podcast. You guys know about it? Miami Vice. All right, guys. 2.5 hours. I think we're going to wrap it. Chips, yeah. I met, what's his name there? Poncherello there. Great actor. Fantastic guy, by the way. Came to York, Pennsylvania for the county fair or state fair. He was fantastic. Really nice guy. Really nice guy. Gave out, he was only supposed to be there for like an hour, stayed for like 2.5 hours to sign autographs for people. Reacher is okay. Yeah. Chips was a good show, yeah. Yep. All right, that's going to do it, folks. Thanks for the likes. Thanks for the views. Thanks for the super chats. Do you use your Facebook? No. Okay, let me just tell you that right now. Folks, do not send me anything on Facebook. My Facebook account is closed. I don't accept requests. I don't use it. I just it's there, but I mean, if you send me something on Facebook, I'm not going to respond because Facebook's text messaging and Messenger doesn't work for Beans. It constantly wants me to sign in or do this two-factor identification. It's useless. I hate it. It's for 12-year-olds experiencing their first menses and for blue-haired tinies who are 95. That's who Facebook is for. I don't like it. I don't use it. Also, if you contact me on Instagram, I don't do that. I have accounts and all these things, but you need to send it to the email or contact me through one of the groups on WhatsApp or Telegram, and I'll do my best to get back to you. But I mean, I'm getting a lot of messages. But no, if you send me something on Facebook, odds are I'm just going to ignore it. And if you send me an email to an email address that I didn't share with you, which is not the All About Africa one, you're very fortunate that I took the time to respond to you because it's unsolicited. You're clogging my email, and in future, those things are going to start getting deleted. If I didn't give you an email address, you shouldn't be writing to it. That's very, very rude and disrespectful. The email for this channel is always available. You just go to the About tab, you click on it, you learn more about the channel, and you reveal email address, and you'll get it there. Debate the role of fearmongers in this debacle. Yeah, no, I think that's a good question. Dallas was huge. Yep. Okay. All right. Outlander. Yeah, Outlander's pretty good. Let me just check before we leave real quick and see how we're doing subscribers so you guys know see if we can get 56,000. 55,918, so we're not at 56,000. So I don't think we'll make it by morning, but we'll see. All right. Take care, everybody. Have a good night. Appreciate you being here. Be safe out there. And yeah, we had one troll show up that we know about. I'm out of here. Cheers.